And welcome, folks. Great to have you in here. Hope you're doing fantastic. And it is Tech Talk Tuesday, guys, our favorite day of the week, and it's always a favorite because I spend it with you amazing people. So welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our chance, guys, to discuss everything happening on this platform in great detail with you folks. Take all your great questions, each other helping each other in the chat. It is just one win after another. So glad to have you here. Of course, guys, we are going to be talking about COPPA, going to be going through it as well as taking questions about it as well. But there'll be a chance for other questions as well, covering the whole gamut of YouTube, guys. Do we have all the answers? No, but once again, together, we'll come to solve them, I think, with all these great people in here. Pleasure to have you all. And don't forget, guys, to hit the like button, tweet it out, tell friends, all that good stuff. The more, the merrier, guys.
Yes, hello and welcome here. It is Tuesday, as Andrew said, and welcome here. If you are new, welcome, welcome, and hello to you. Say hi in the chat. And if you are here for the second time, thank you for giving us a second chance. And welcome everybody who is coming here on a regular basis. Good to see you as well. Today is Tech Talk Tuesday. We will dive into some of the questions because we have been receiving a lot of questions personally as well on Twitter DMs and emails about this ruling, and of course there have been numerous videos made out there as well. It's hard to navigate and understand what exactly is going on. We will try to get some clarity based on facts and on the original sources, as we always do here. So if you get any questions, please let us know. We will get into the details about what kind of content actually is under COPPA ruling, a little bit more details than YouTube is giving on their guidelines. So stick around and you'll know a little bit more about that.
That's right, guys. In the meantime, if you can tell people what's going on, hit the like button, tweet it out, all that good stuff. We really do appreciate it. The more, the merrier, as we've been showing you guys. I'm going to check right now to see if this one's already been yellow coined. Let's go see. Let's check it out. Let's see if that's already happened, because usually when we discuss anything by YouTube, and there we go, folks. And there we go. It has already happened. We're already at limited monetization. So once again, it's not about money. It's about the fact that we just do not get much of a push once that happens. So we're going to ask you guys, in the meantime, if you can help us out by letting people know what's going on. We would greatly appreciate it to catch up the slack on that. A tad frustrating, I must say. But those are the breaks. We'll work with them. We're still going to talk it out, guys. We're still going to enjoy each other's time. And that's the great thing about having all you amazing folks in here.
That's right. But before we dive right into that, we're gonna let some people come in. For those of you that are late to the event, to the show here tonight, and of course, say hi to you and welcome you here in the chat. Get your questions ready, and of course, if you do have any other questions as well, we're gonna try to get to them as well. Prioritarily, is it the word? Primary? No. I don't know. First and foremost about COPPA ruling at FTC. Now, keep in mind that we are not analyzing each separate channel. You are responsible for your content, but we are here to help as much as we can. Hello, Drew's Food Reviews. Good to see you. NYI Diver is here. Hello, how are you? Scrapping Irish. Mountain View Turning. Hello, how are you? And Cardoso Media retweeted, and that's how you can help us. And also other creators getting more information on what and how to do is by tweeting it out, sharing it on Facebook, Instagram, DMing, texting, whoever and whatever you can. We need to raise awareness about this issue while we can, and you can be a part of it by sharing information and this stream as well. So thank you so much if you already did.
That's right, guys. Sorry, I was just grabbing up other stuff here. So there you go. Once again, showing you how it goes. There you are. So there we are, guys. Once again, it is limited monetization already. We're literally 5 minutes into it. So I guess us discussing the platform is not really valued much by the platform itself, but with you guys, we always have a great conversation, and that we truly appreciate you for, and so looking forward to it, guys. So once again, if you can let everybody know what's going on, hit the like button, tweet it, tell friends. We'd really appreciate it. Nomad Unbroken, how are you, my friend? Great to see you. Hope you're doing fantastic. I actually tweeted you today. Hope you're doing well. All the best to you. Look at all these great people. Steph Opal's back in the house. There she is with her burnt vegan pizza. What's going on all the way from New Orleans? Hope you're doing fantastic. Always great to see you in the house. Each and every one of you guys in here. Charlie Gordon, rail fan. Do you know why it is the Federal Trade Commission hit YouTube and not the FCC? We can talk about that a little bit more in just a minute. The Huntsman is in the house. AI has a bullseye on you. It certainly does. It certainly does. Purgatory Paranormal Event. Why? How are you? Great to see you. Hope you're doing fantastic, as well as Ghost Pirate. Pop Couples in the house. Simply Casey. Great people in here, folks. Great. Hey.
Super chat
Oh
war.
my God.
Not a super sticker. Super chat, nevertheless.
No, Farmal got my back. Farmal got my back. Farmal's taking care of me. Thank you so much, Farmal, for the absolute amazing super chat. Farmal's getting close, guys, to 10K, folks. If you do not have him, grab him up, guys. He is getting this close to cracking that, and he's going to fly by it. His views are unbelievable. Doing a fantastic job with your channel, my friend. Make sure to check him out. UK Scrapper, how you doing? Great to see you. Hope all is well. Casey Green, great thumbnail on this. Thank you so very much. I had another idea, but yeah, it was a catchy title, but I don't want to poke fun at it because I don't think there's anything funny with COPPA, first and foremost. But yeah, I kind of hated to let it go. I was kind of... it was definitely going to upset somebody, and I wasn't wanting it to.
We were trying to lay a little bit of the happy note to it, but I guess there is not much happy note right now. So, super sticker, super chat, super sticker, super chat, super sticker, super chat. Life of MC, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, you are super amazing. Thank you so much. Wow, you are super kind and so generous with a super sticker, super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Life MC. You are way too kind, and you're the one that's amazing. That's going right back on you, that compliment. Thank you so very much for that. We do appreciate it, guys. You guys are absolutely awesome. The support you show us is nothing short of spectacular in every shape and form, and you guys are the ones that make this show what it is, so thank you so much. We're just going to give a couple minutes, guys, then we're going to jump into it. Lakeshore Paranormal, how are you? Great to see you. RC Crazy is in the house. Fantastic to see you. MD Scratch Jedi's in the house. Rock Truck Rob is in the house. It's just one great channel after another, guys. One great channel after another, and it's going to be a really great conversation tonight as well, guys. We're going to talk about other stuff too besides this, so there's lots of opportunities for your questions as well. So you definitely want to stick around. You do not want to miss it. So
Kasumi is here as well.
Hey.
Hello, good to see you here. Hello, Funko Illuminati here as well. Hello, Norgus R. Hello, and Andrew decided we're going to start with a little bit of comedic relief. No, we're not. Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to close everything actually.
Life of MC. Thank you so much once again.
You are way
Thank
too
you.
kind. And congratulations, was just monetized recently in that. You're doing fantastic, and keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. And you're really, really, really too kind. As once again, so I'm just going back to the name, Supernatural Lost Adventures. Can't wait to hear what you think. Duke Family Chronicles, thank you for your help. Well, thank you for the help you guys show us as well. That is absolutely awesome of you. Duke Family Chronicles, a ton of love your way. Thank you so very much. Octai Dogan is in the house, folks. I repeat, Octai Dogan is in the house. Great to see you. Hope you're doing fantastic. So many great people in here, guys. If you can let them know what's going on, guys, hit the like button, tweet out, tell friends. Yes, the algorithm has already turned on us for talking about it, and we're sitting here with a yellow coin within, well, since we started pretty much the show. Couple days in a row. Project Bob's, what's going on? How are you? Great to see you. Premier Hell, fantastic to see you as well. Hope you're doing great. Ryan Vexo is in the house. Welcome. Daily Life and Nature, doing great. Hope you are as well. Tasha Renoir, how are you? Awkwardly, Kim, the cat is taking over the bed. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Cats get something in their head.
Use it as a pillow. That's what I did with mine.
Yep.
And I used to have mine.
NWI Driver, what is going on? Hope all is great. RC Crazy is in the house, guys. Unbelievable to have you in. Always a pleasure to have you in. Hope all is great. Jackson RC Aviation, what is going on? Hope you're doing great. Mr. Moore is in the house as well. Fallen Angel, guys, really looking forward to talking about this. It's unbelievable, guys. We've just in the time we've been on, we've seen so many changes to YouTube. This one is dominating. It's on everybody's ears. This is your chance to get your voice out onto it. See what you think. Updates. Trying to clarify it some. Found it buried. Hey to you. Hope all is well. Pixelbia, teaching and learning. I'm so excited for tonight's show. So much to figure out. Well, thank you so much for that, and it's a pleasure to have you in here. And looking forward to your thoughts as well on the whole matter. Salvatore Vinciguerra is in the house. Great to see you. Hope you're doing fantastic. True North Anglers in here. John T. Cash is in the house, folks. That's right. Good to see you, buddy. Days Ways Vlogs is in the house. Walker Fam. Great channels, guys. Great channels. Sunshine Cooper, how you doing? Hope all is well. Corbin Connection Comedy. Hey. Sorry I'm late. You're not late. Anything but late. Great to have you in here. Pop Couple, what's going on? Jennifer Hayes, how you doing tonight? Great to see you. I think I told you this before. When we first met, I had to double check because I grew up with a friend in high school girl. Her name was Jennifer Hayes. Same spelling and everything. So you definitely caught my eye right off the get-go, that's for sure. Cardoso Media is in the house, guys. Great to have you in. Hope all is well. I was going to screw it up. Marty Stampelkowski. I'm sure I still spell. I always do, but it's great to have you in. Welcome. Hope all is well. Expedition Greg. Hey guys, here. Love the new decor. Thank you so much. We're still working on it, but thank you so much. It's getting there. A couple little pieces I got to order from Amazon for the front part as well, for the bracing and all that. I love that everything is self-contained. I'm absolutely loving this. It's been a dream of mine, so I guess that's...
Yeah, it's a one big unit getting together.
That's
here.
right, and I like that. Let me see, guys. Here, we'll give you, if you haven't seen it yet, a little quick tour. There you go. So, now you can see we used a stand that was made to hold 4 monitors. Put all different fittings onto them. These magic elbow connections as well. Finally, Xenia figured out what I couldn't because it was driving me crazy. I have no patience. She finally got them programmed on the remote, and I couldn't be happier. So we have dimmable lights now as well. There you go. Yep. So, wow. Oh, it burns. There you go. There you go. And there's our camera mount as well. And the brace. And this webcam, I'm ordering another flexible gooseneck that will go in there. And then the mixer is sitting underneath our monitor here. And then over to Xenia's mic stand on the other one. There you go.
Well, once everything is set and done, I'm sure Andrew is going to do a detailed review and overall look into what exactly we're doing here. But
Most
we're
definitely.
getting pretty happy. By the way, the artwork right there is by La Lydia's Life. So yeah, you can see that. It's a Puša Studios well, I wouldn't call it a poster. It's a masterpiece. It's a mixed media
Yes,
art by
that's so
Lalo
much
Lydia's life. So definitely thankful for that as well. Thank you.
Found a bird and put on suntan lotion. Yeah, pretty much. Thank you so much, guys. Do appreciate it. It has been a long time coming, but we wanted to get it more organized. I'm a sucker for well, that's a compliment coming from this man, especially. Jim is in the house, video calling show. Thank you so very much, buddy. Do appreciate it. Funko Illuminati, nice little setup you got there. Thank you so much. Like I said, it's just wanted to I think it's my years of truck driving early on set me up for keeping everything contained, keeping everything organized. Stuff like that is a big part. Helps keep the head clear.
Wilder Scotland says, love it, guys. The colors are dynamite.
Well, thank you so very much. I do appreciate it. It's a tad bright right now, but anyways, I guess we're saying to it. So there. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I could have a nice steak in this. You know.
Oh my. Well, almost like a kind of like.
Yes. Just that's right.
If you're just coming in and wondering what are we talking about, we're going to be getting into the details on COPPA. We have some more details on what content exactly falls under the new ruling January 1st, so stick around. But as always, we do a little bit of our housekeeping here and want to say hi to you and let you have some time to come in, get your coffee and everything together. Some people even have their notepads, I know.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So thank you so much, and don't worry, we're going to get into that shortly as well.
And definitely looking forward to hearing you guys' thoughts as well, guys. And as always, and you guys have been just doing so fantastic. I shouldn't even have to say it, but just in case anybody's new or hasn't picked up to it yet, remember, guys, to keep it respectful for each other. Talk, or you want to hear you guys' opinions, all that stuff. Just keep it above the belt. I'm having a little bit of an issue here, Xenia. I want to pass you over for a second.
Zam Gaming is here. Hello and welcome here as well. Daily Life and Nature. Hello. And LNG Assassin here as well. Hello. How are you? Yesterday we talked about some very interesting topic as well. If you missed that, check it out. We talked about YouTube and what would be other solutions to all these recent changes that maybe would make it all better or not. Go and check it out. A little bit of a controversial topic. The link is featured on our homepage as well, so check it out. I also wanted to remind you about hashtag Blue Ridge Group selfies. If you want to post your selfie on our Twitter with the hashtag Blue Ridge Group, take a selfie of yourself, or even better, a selfie of you watching us, and post it on Twitter with the hashtag Blue Ridge Group. You can also do it on Instagram with the hashtag Blue Ridge Group, and we'll feature you in our stories like we did today. It's a very special creator featured there, so if you want to see who it is, go over to our Instagram at Push Studios and see our stories. Check it out. The Daywalker is lurking. Hello. Voidpax is here as well. And Tokyo Drew, good morning from Japan. Good morning, morning. Road Venture is here as well, and Gothic Rose, Better Days, helping us as always. A special shout out to Better Days, always putting the links and really checking the chat for all the trolls or mishaps of the rules, educating everyone. So thank you so much, and a very special shout out to Better Days. Thank you so much. Wood Pigeon Outdoors, do you think more YouTubers will be dropping out due to this? We'll definitely talk about that as well. We'll do a little bit of a recap, just a quick one for those of you that haven't heard what exactly is going to happen, and then dive into the details of new details. Well, they're not new, but they are kind of updated details of what content is going to fall under the COPPA, and of course dive into your questions as well. We'll try to answer them as good as possible. Life After Life TV Productions. Hello, how are you? And Dakota and Families here. Hello, welcome. Good to see you. Remember to hit that like button and share it out. We do appreciate if you do. It is a very important topic, and we do appreciate if you spread the word through the means of sharing the information about COPPA or this live stream. And if you're new, please subscribe to us. There's lots more topics that we're covering about YouTube, trying to motivate and educate creators like us here. Shine Bright Studio, hello and welcome here. Hello. Sunshine Cooper is here as well. Hello. Off Course Racing, what's up with you? Hello and welcome back here. Hello.
Sorry, I put all the Xenia. I'm just checking. I got booted out. The numbers are going all wrong. And I'm not sure. Let's just say interesting to say the least what's going on. But nonetheless, guys, don't worry about that. We're here to talk with you guys. Once again, folks, let's get into it very soon. Let's first start off by a rockstar welcome. Because you know what? You guys are absolutely amazing. I just got booted from our own live stream and had to come back in. So thank you for your patience. I want to say, we need more echo for that. I want to give a great big welcome to Zam Gaming in the house. Welcome. We got Wood Pigeon Outdoors. Wilder Scotland is here, folks. Void Pex is in the house, as well as, oh my God, jumping all over the place. UK Scrapper, Tokyo Drew. It's like trying to count popcorn, guys. The Daywalker, welcome. We have Tasha 101. Sunshine Cooper is in the house, folks, as well as Steph Opal is here. So, the fantastic lady, been with us from the very get-go. Simply Casey is in the house, guys. You heard me right, as well as Shine Bright Studio, welcome. We have Salvatore Vinciguerra in the house, folks. We have Ryan Vexel. We have Rock Truck Rob, folks, is here, as well as Road Ventures in the house. We got RC Crazy. That's right. And we got Professor of Perseverance. And we got Premier Hell in here. And we have Pixel Pia Teaching and Learning. We have Patricia Gallant in the house, folks. We have Old Guy on a Bike. We have Ole's Fam Bam. We have Octay Dogan. We have, oh my God, it's John Plates. Off Course Racing in the house. NWI Driver. Mr. Moore. Mr. Detectorist. Mountain View Turning. Lori Bly, DIY. We have LNG Assassin, Little Jazz. We have Life of MC. We have Life After TV Production. We have Lakeshore Paranormal, Cardoso Media in the house, Casey Green, Jennifer Hayes here, Jackson RC Aviation, Graceful Spirit and Ray, Gothic Roses in the house. We have Ghost Pirate, Founded Buried is here, Mr. Boom himself, Farmo Fanatic is in the house. We have Fallen Angel, we have Expedition Greg, we have Excellency, I never know if I'm pronouncing it right, but great to have you. We have LZ Adventures in the house, we got Drew's Food Reviews, Destination Chronicles in the house, Dakota Family, how are you? Welcome. We have Daily Life and Nature, CW Gaming is here, Corbin Connection Comedy, we got Chili Man in the house, folks, we got Blue Collar Fishing, Better Days is here, and Barrel Boy Woods, Awkwardly Kim, Alex the Blue Man Reviewer and Gamer. Welcome, folks. It is too hard to even count. It's jumping all over the place. Are you guys getting thrown out by any chance? If you are getting booted and stuff like that, please let us know. The Story of Dory, how you doing? Hope all is well with you. I just posted some FYI COPPA links in your Check This Out Discord.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, my friend.
Thank you, much appreciated. You can also see lots of information and resources in our previous video that we covered COPPA. Actually, 2 videos. One was a couple of months ago and one just last week. So if you haven't seen that, those both are linked down below in the description. If you're completely new to this subject, I definitely would suggest to start with at least one of them. The Story of Dory. Hello, how are you? Cardoso Media says I was buffering, had to refresh.
I figured, yeah.
If you buffer, don't suffer. Refresh, we say here. So please do. Who knows? Maybe we'll get throttled. That wouldn't be
and then
surprised.
some. We're holding in stages, it seems like. Tales of the Solstice, how are you? Great to see you. Hasn't booted me yet. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for letting Snowball as well.
Currently Kim is here. Started buffering and then got kicked. Well, thank you so much for coming back. It's not you, it's not us, it's YouTube. So thank you for the patience and understanding the importance of the topic as well. JBB Barbecues and Guns. Hello, how are you? Miscellaneous Magnets is here and Grant McIntosh.
Hey, what's
and
going on?
Janet. Hello, Janet. Mr. Moore and Ghost Pirate is here as well. Nomad and Broken says it's a YouTube thing tonight.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Hope you're doing well, buddy, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Someone agree. Oh my God.
Oh my God! And Life of MC is going
You are crazy.
Thank you
spoil
so
us.
much. Super sticker, super chat, super sticker, super chat, super sticker, super chat. Life of MC. Thank you so much for that super sticker, super chat. Your kindness and generosity supporting us. Thank you. Life of MC, thank you.
Do appreciate it so much. Your support to us is, and not just us, to a lot of YouTubers is nothing short of amazing. And I hope you know just how much it is appreciated. Really, really kind of you. Thank you so very much.
Ingrata de Ortiz, hello, and welcome here to our channel. Welcome here.
I haven't had a problem. That is awesome here, Patricia. Thank you for letting us know. I do appreciate it because I'm watching the number, and when I was trying to say hello to you guys, it's just like it's like capping out all the time. People are just getting booted left, right, and center. Yeah, so I'm glad you guys are in here. Thank you for the updates. If you get anything squirrely happening, guys, just let us know. Thames World is in the house. How are you, my friend? Hope all is well. Great to see you. Great to see you. Heidi might be here. Anybody else we missed, guys, just highlight our name and say hi. And we're going to get to it just in about 5 minutes or so, guys, at the most. It's lots of time. Is it true that anybody can play or watch multiple live stream using the same account so long as I'm using a laptop?
I'm sorry?
Wow. Is it true that anybody can play or watch multiple live stream using the same account so long as I'm using a laptop?
Well, you can watch multiple videos at the same
Yeah,
time if that's what you want to do.
It's not limited to any kind of, whether it's a laptop, phone, or anything else like that. Well, kind of a phone would be a bit harder to do, but I mean laptop or desktop or anything like that. You could run 100 of them if you want. Well, you'll crash out at some point. Your video card won't be able to handle it, but I hope we understand. I hope we explained that. I wasn't quite sure about the question. Someone go make me coffee. Farmall is asking for. Chris? I'm calling for coffee. I had a lady come to my channel saying, Pusa Studios blocked me. I said, I don't understand. She repeated her comment and wanted to say something. I said, oh my God, Tracy. Tracy, you're my hero of the day. You're my hero of the day. I had a lady come to my channel saying, Pusa Studio blocked me. I said, I don't understand. She repeated her comment and wanted me to say something. I said, no, because you obviously got blocked for a reason. And most likely when they do it like that, they've already proven the reason why. So you are my hero of the day. A big salute to you, Tracy Gaffrey. Thank you so very much. Because you see, if you get blocked, the best way to ask is in the middle of a live stream. Because unfortunately for us, I'm going to show you here, there's absolutely no way to contact us privately and try and work out the matter. So it definitely has to be done in public and asking other people to come and ask you. Because we're obviously extremely hard to find on social media. So I can understand where that kind of confusion for them comes. So thank you so much. Once again, you are my hero of the day. There you go. So.
A reminder for you to click the like button and share it out if you haven't yet. Don't give them any more ideas for rules, though. Yeah, well, it always changes.
It was a really great conversation the last night. Really great. And it's not the point of whether that happens or not. It was a point of realizing exactly what happens with YouTube and not just brushing it off and saying, oh, well, and is there any light at the end of the tunnel? And is there any hope that things could change and all that stuff? What? You don't have a MySpace page? We just don't. We're just not that cool, Joe. We just can't pull off a MySpace page.
We might have to jump back onto that.
Yeah, exactly. It might be in the cards in the near future the way things are going. So.
That's right. Jenny O'Brien is here as well.
Welcome,
hello.
Jenny.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see Hope all as well. Thank you so much for coming down. Thank you, son, for the coffee. And you got to go get one for Farmall, okay? And then take it down south.
And Grant and double coffee and triple milk. And can I have my keyboard, please? Thank you. Funko Illuminati, when I need to contact Push Studios, I use a spotlight on my roof with their silhouette. Ooh,
oh my God almighty, I love it.
Batman.
I see him. He wants. I love it.
Pusha Bat or Bat Pusha, I don't know.
Oh my God almighty.
Yesterday was really putting new thoughts in my head. Loved it. Thank you so much, PixelP, and thank you so much for all the questions as well in the chat from you. That was really great conversation yesterday. We really enjoyed it. All of us, I think.
I just love good conversations like that, guys. That's what helps us just understand the platform we're on to. It really is. There's a lot of great people there with a lot of great opinions, whether they're differing, and that has nothing to do with it. It's the point of talking about. It's the conversation. And I absolutely love stuff like that. I really, really do. And the truth is here, explorers, I like AOL better. AOL rocks, my friend, I tell you. I'm waiting for my disc to come in the mail so I get another free 50 hours on the internet. Literally spending the last 2 months in hospital with a loved one.
I hope Polly is all right.
I hope everything's all right, Joe. Oh man.
We didn't know that. Joey, you should have said something.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. Sending all our thoughts to you. Of course, we love you guys, and I really hope it's nothing super serious. But wow, thinking about you. We'll be thinking about you, keeping in our thoughts. Thank you.
Last night I dreamed about stream and was talking in my sleep to you all. Steph Alpel said, were we talking about vegan pizza? Is that what we were talking about, Steph? Is that what we were talking about? Great to see all you guys in here, folks. Our mom, it's, Joe.
Joey.
I'm so sorry, buddy.
Oh,
Tons of love to
hearts
you.
Thinking about you.
Hang in there, bud. Hey, Joe has been with us since the very beginning, guys. He got us off the ground and one of the most fantastic people creating content out here. And definitely on a break for the right reasons, because real life always comes first, especially when it's mom.
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
Sorry to hear
tons
that,
of love to
Joey.
you, buddy. CSX, how are you? Great to see you. Hope all is well. Did not get the joke. Got it now. The art of handmade. Oh, sorry, I missed the joke. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get caught up here. I'm watching the stream on both my phone and my computer. Ryan Vexen says, You're multitasking. And yes, she was dreaming about the burnt vegan pizza. Oh my God. Alrighty, guys. Yes, guys, send prayers. That is awesome. Great thoughts, guys. We're all in together. We're all humans on here. Tons of love to you, Joe. Speech Fairies, good evening to you. Hope all is well. Great to see you. Hope you're having a fantastic one. Beauty Bar, how are you? Welcome. FDL Seekers in the house. Dark Angel Moonshine is here. So many great channels, guys. A pleasure to have you all. I'm one away from 1K. Okay, guys, if anyone doesn't have Awkwardly Kim, help Awkwardly Kim top off to 1K, guys. Check her out. She is absolutely awesome. Don't burn everyone. Don't burn everyone out. Love life, be happy, just going through some crap. No.
Oh, no,
bum
no.
everybody out. No.
You know how much we love you guys, and
yes.
just thinking about you.
Yes. Tons of love to you. Oh.
And there is Lyuba Fontanov with a little ray of sunshine. There will be YouTube Live after COPPA.
Yes.
Yes, of course there will be. We'll have to adjust, but nevertheless it is serious, especially for a good amount of channels on YouTube, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about. You know what is very upsetting though, and thank you for the positive note and trying to. I see all these channels coming into the chat, and I'm like, okay, well, this channel goes under, this goes under. Like, I'm literally in my thoughts, I'm thinking about how many channels in the chat fall under the law, and it makes me so sad.
You know, there's a difference between this one and everything else we've covered since we've been on. Oh my God, look what Farmall wrote. Farmall wrote it, the Copacabana. Funny you should mention that.
Did you tell him?
No, I did not. He had no idea. Not a clue.
I don't know. Oh, Joey. Be happy and pass it on. Spread the love. Thank you so much. And our thoughts with you guys. And say hi to Polly, please.
Tons of love to you. Tons of love to you, buddy. You didn't have to do that. Just take care of yourselves. That's the main thing. That is the main thing, my friend. Vince Land, how are you? Fellow Montreal, great to see you. And JC's Adventures, welcome, welcome, welcome. Farmall Fanatic, funny you should mention it, because guess what was going to be the title tonight? There you go. That was the thumbnail. We had it ready to go and thought, oh God, maybe somebody might be offended, feel like we're making fun of the matter too much or something like that. So we decided to pull it and go with the other one. So there you go. Copacabana, we're thinking on the same level. That's right. So it was in the cards. And maybe someday it will be later on down the road. When we can, but yeah, but I mean, it is important for a lot of people, and we don't want to look like we're making light of it, so that's why we didn't do it. Am I supposed to be told something about this Coca? Yeah, there you go. We were on the same page, my friend. On the same page. So.
Outdoors adventure, nothing ever on my children to for children, but not for children either. Yeah, we'll definitely go over. There is a little bit more information as well about what kind of content falls under the rule. So we definitely will talk about that as well. There's many channels that thought that they are safe and they are not, and it's not the end yet. We're obviously going through updates as we can. The
big difference with this one, this is what I was going to say before, the big difference between this one and anything else that's gone on here that's put us all into a mad panic, and whichever group it was going to hit, this is the first time ever where something's been released where they've had to say, if you're not sure, check with your lawyer. That's what's different about it this time. That's what puts that edge on it that's never really been there before. That conversation hasn't really come up. Yes, okay, for a couple of big YouTubers, and they can, but for the general part, no policy has ever changed on here that's included the phrase, check with your lawyer. That's what changes this. This is what makes this one really different from a lot of the other ones, and should get more attention than the other ones do because of the burden that comes with it. For the most part, guys, we know that most times with those fines, they're usually not going to be going after somebody unless it's egregious at the top for that kind of money per se, in theory. But there's no guarantees on that. It can happen. The possibility is there. It's not a closed door on the matter, that's for sure.
JC's Adventures 89 is asking, don't they have a separate app for kids? Not only an app, but also now on desktop in US, you can enter www.youtubekids.com, and it is available in US. Unfortunately, not all across the world just yet, but it is. The problem is it is way too late, and 89% of kids from 8 to 16, according to the latest research, actually is using YouTube and not YouTube Kids app.
Tales of the Soul says telling people to ask a lawyer means even YouTube isn't sure what exactly FTC will target with this. Not only that, you're absolutely right, but also the consequences are that severe onto it that even it's gray area to begin with, and secondly, the possibilities, the fines and everything are not just a walk in the park. Their lawyers, don't worry, have talked to them heavily about even trying to inkling towards any advice onto it for that simple reason. This is not the same story as it's been for the other ones in the past that we've gone through, including Apocalypse and stuff like that. This is really a whole game changer.
The Daywalker, hello and welcome here as well. Lubo Antonov says, my personal idea, sift through our channel videos and go with the ones above channel reach views. Definitely keep them and designate, and the questionable ones make private. Yeah, and lots of questions are about what is questionable and what is definitely, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Kasumi, there is a social media lawyer on YouTube who also explains that they have no idea what the COPPA law is saying. They said it's fake. It is. Yep. We are not lawyers. I have read COPPA guidelines, COPPA actual article, and all the appendixes to it. I don't know how many times, ins and outs, and every time you find something new. So I don't know who understands it completely, really. Life After Life TV Productions, the thing is, there is lawyers who don't understand because it's all far from black and white, so they need to get their act together because it's a very gray area. Yeah, but it's like saying to the government they need to get their act together. That's the difference here.
That's the sad part into it, guys. It's really thrown the lap. This is not a lawyer specialty. The closest one would be ones that specialize in entertainment, and they still would be up to date onto it, or have the direct answers either, because most lawyers are just going to tell you to stay in the conservative area and protect yourself.
Hey, who's in the house? The Urban Explorer.
Hey,
hello.
how
Look
are
at
you?
that. This channel doesn't have your blue red. Aw. Now, I almost don't want to give it to you. I won't see you now in the sea of blue. Well, let me give it to you anyway.
Welcome. Great to see you.
I'm sure you have a lot to say about COPPA as well, and you guys are more than welcome to voice your opinions in the chat too, so please do.
You want to go to the cards?
Yep. So we wanted to just a little refresh for those of you that maybe is the first time listening to this, or maybe haven't seen videos, which is impossible. There's a sea of videos about this, but nevertheless, let you remind you about it. So last week, YouTube came out with the guidelines that were supposed to only come into place in January, but they have started it early on. And under these new guidelines, you are required to set future and existing videos as made for kids or not. And even if you don't make content for kids, you still need to set your audience. And that's a common misconception that we hear is that, well, my YouTube channel is not made for kids, I don't have any content for kids. I don't have to do anything. It doesn't touch me. It does. You have to market, no matter if it is for kids or not.
And as a sideline, guys, putting in disclaimers, once again, the same as for copyright, everything, putting them in the title at the beginning of your videos and live streams, all that stuff is absolutely meaningless to YouTube. That's got nothing to do with these settings whatsoever as well. So just as a side note, because I've been starting to see some of that too. It's not going to cover you. It's got no protection for you whatsoever. whether the description, whether the tag, the your about section, or in each video or live stream. It's not going to help you in one bit.
That's right. So you can set it in two different places. If you still didn't know about that, is channel level, and this will change audience settings for all existing videos and will apply it by default to future ones as well. And you can do it on the video level, so you can customize each separate video separately, and you will have this option available when you upload video or you set your live stream up. In our previous video from last week, which is tagged down below in the description, we actually do show a little video as well as the cards of how to do it. So if you're not sure, you can always go back there. It's time-stamped in the video and check it out. Now, what happens, a refresh of a little shock moment, what happens to you if you are setting audience as made for kids for the video? What happens? Your personal advertising or personalized advertising for that video disappears for the viewers. That means that you are getting up to 90% less revenue from that video. Comment section is disabled. Channel branding, the little watermark that you see in the corner, one of the corners of our live stream here, that would be gone as well. Donation button is gone. Information cards or end screens are gone. Live chat or live chat donations would be gone. As
we got a short.
Well, playback.
There we go.
In the mini.
Sorry. Try now.
Playback in the mini player would be also gone. Super chat and super stickers would be gone, and save to the playlist option would be gone as well for you. If you change it as a video setting. Now, that also only starts in January, but starting in November, already now, channel memberships and the merch shelf won't be available for content marked as made for kids as well. So if your channel is over 10,000, you get your merch shelf. That would disappear on the videos that are marked for kids, and as well as channel memberships for gaming channels and for those of you that are over 30,000 as well. So that's something to know that is already starting right now.
I am sorry, guys. I'm just stopping for a second. I did find part of the problem here. We seem to have a short, probably when we were cleaning this the other day, and not by anybody's fault from cleaning it, but I think we have a short one. It's cutting out. So that might be why we were having some trouble with the audio. So bear with us, guys, and sorry for the raise in pitch up and down. My apologies for that.
Tales of Salta says, what about content warning of some sort? My niche does a lot of scary stories with varied degrees of language. No content warning is gonna save you from YouTube or FTC. There is no such thing. You have to market with the tools that they provide you. Any other disclaimers, as Andrew said, is not gonna save you from penalties.
And Jason would Pigeon Outdoors, as a side note, because what he asked connected to that, also for your analytics, has absolutely no connection to it whatsoever. None of those things, guys, except for this, is the only acceptable method. Whether a lot of adults watch it in general or anything like that means absolutely nothing onto it. So glad you brought that up, though, so we can address that.
Now, if you do add your whole channel as made for kids, you lose everything that we mentioned above, as well as your stories are gone. The community tab on the channel page will be lost as well. Your videos on your channel won't have notification bell. That means that nobody is going to be receiving notifications of your uploaded content. Your viewers also won't be able to save to watch later or save to playlists your videos. And basically, your videos are not going to be circulating in suggested videos, in browsing, or homepage on YouTube whatsoever. So unless somebody directly lands on your channel, knowing where to look, they're not going to be able to find your content.
Monetization has nothing to do with it either, by the way. Monetization, I know I'm jumping between, I'm just seeing some of these ones. Guys, you have to realize something. Whether you're monetized or not has nothing to do with YouTube's policies on that. It has zero to do with it. You still have to adhere by all of YouTube's rules and regulations. So whether you just started today, been in it for 10 years, whether you're monetized or not, whatever there is, we all have to adhere to it. So
now you have to market correctly. You can't just write not made for kids, because it's not only YouTube that is going to go after you. It is most and foremost and mainly FTC that is going to be scrolling through YouTube creators and going after you. So if you mark something, it's not made for kids, but it ends up being for kids under FTC COPPA rule, you are going to get fined up to $42,500 and change dollars per video. FTC is going to sue you. And they said that what they're going to basically do is going to do every so often YouTube sweeps.
Yep.
Where they're going to be going literally through the channels, and they're going to be suing creators no matter how big or small you are.
That's right, Miscellaneous Man. It isn't a joke, guys. That's what I said. This is different from the other ones. There's been big things that we've had to adhere to and change the other ones. This one, when a lawyer's involved, these kind of fines, it is time to really perk up on this one because it can get in a lot of trouble. And like I said tonight, I said, realistically, they probably won't do $242,000. Don't imagine if you had 10 videos that violated it and they said, we're going to do $2,000. It's, do the math, that's still $20,000. How many of us are making enough money? I watched a brick channel that's giving up on it. They have 30-some thousand subscribers. Like he said, I don't make near enough money to ever cover the fines that happen on here. Not near enough. So...
I play Mario 64, however, I swear a lot. Do I mark as not for kids? Not necessarily. The game is geared towards kids, so that might be made for kids. And we're going to dive into that as well. Video Calling Show is putting a very important note that YouTube is not responsible for marking your videos. You are. Exactly. Under the COPPA rule, a creator is responsible to mark their content, not YouTube. So if you end up marking it incorrectly, you are the one responsible, not YouTube. And, forget even all the YouTube potential strikes and all of that YouTube haven't even, detailed yet. They just said that you will have penalties from YouTube as well. We only assume that it probably will be under community guideline strikes. But even that, forget about that. This is actual money we're talking about. And yes, they say up to $42,500. So not everybody's going to be fined, that amount of money. But nevertheless, it's not going to be $5 per video.
What if it's $500 on a video?
Yeah.
And you earned 23 cents in advertising revenue on it, or none, or whatever. It's still devastating. It's still, when you have 4 or 5 videos that get fined at $350 a piece, and you're over $1,000. I mean, this is real money we're talking about.
And it is civil suit, blue collar fishing. You get sued under civil suit for not obliging the law. It is official. FTC is a government institution. It is not YouTube pushing something. What if creators make parodies or audio-video recordings of other creators? Is that allowed or will be penalized? That matters what type of creators you're using for your parodies. If you're using animations or anything, if you're using their content, then definitely.
We'll go into that in a few more minutes, so we'll go through your rest of your slides.
Yeah.
Not often I get to do this. Usually I'm the one that gets sidetracked, so this is a treat.
Is this just for YouTube or all media? Primarily right now it is YouTube, but the COPPA applies to all social media and streaming services online.
We're the first ones on the chopping block, but it is going to be making its rounds. Next slide.
Okay, so we dove once again into reading of COPPA ins and outs and try to understand, what exactly are we talking about? What kind of content should be marked as made for kids? Because there's lots of questions, I'm a gaming channel, should I be marking it for kids? I'm a vlog channel, should I be marking it for kids? Or not, things like that get asked all the time, and YouTube has a very vague couple of points there, but we do have a little excerpt from COPPA itself, and as always we will be including the informational links down below in the description afterwards. This is how are they called? Servants? FTC commissioners?
Commissioners, yeah.
Servants will have to use in order to determine if your channel is obliging the law or not. So basically, they're going to be going through these points that we're going to show you and answering themselves if yes, it applies, or yes or no, it doesn't apply. And that's how they're going to be determining if you're breaking the law or not. So subject matter, and very general for beginning, that it is appealing to children. So for example, kids jokes, music, kids games, video computer games, children TV shows or stars, cartoon characters, sports, stories, toys, children's books, fantasy, any fantasy, children's arts and crafts, pets, that wasn't mentioned by YouTube at all, products primarily purchased or consumed by kids like snack food or cereal. That will apply to all the food channels.
You gotta almost think of it, guys, as anything that would stop a kid if you were on your computer, walk by you, and it would catch their eye and draw them in to it. You're playing into the field of entertainment geared towards children. Things that will catch their eye, things that will draw them in. No matter what the subject matter is, it's more. Let me take that back. The subject matter counts for sure, but on top of that, another action can be even what's in there as a secondary part of it that has nothing to do with the title or anything, but could be a big draw in for children that's there for any kind of length of time, can also fall into that category. Gray area. Oh God, sorry about that.
So if my dog is in a video, I have to mark for kids. Well, that's the good question, and we are in the same boat as you guys, because we're sharing with you what we know so far, and these are going to be the questions that we will have to ask and keep asking. We still have time till January 1st. Now, I see some of the people saying that you won't be able to be sued. Well, if you do have time and money to battle with FTC lawyers, then of course you can do it. I don't think that majority of creators here can do that or have time to do that.
It's nice to be in the right, but can you afford to show that you're in the right?
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. And I mean, it's just a simple answer of, yeah, like Xavier just said, would I be able to fight this in court, go through all the processes, et cetera, and maybe 10 years down the road get let off and be in the whole $35,000, $40,000, $100,000 where you fought it.
Pixel P Teaching and Learning says, I'm a cartoon character on my channel, branding here, so I guess they can hit my channel. Yes, potentially, yeah. So basically, I need to only feature spinach and collard greens in my videos instead of chicken nuggets and cookies. Possibly.
Unfortunately, I know it sounds cartoonish in the words, but it's a big gray area out there. That's the whole problem with everything. That's the whole problem with it all.
Yeah, music appealing to kids. But what kind of music it is, that's a good question. Now, next slide here is about language. So this is one of the characteristics of your video. This is something that you can look through when you debate if you should mark it as for kids or not. And again, this is going to be something that FTC commissioner or whatever, one of their workers, servants, or however they're called there, are going to be looking through when analyzing your channel and content. So language is the first thing. So language, if it is understandable to children 12 and under, short, colorful descriptions, slang, and pop culture phrases. Kids' site may be identified by such language as kids only if you use words as fun, free stuff, whatever, cool, games, ask your parents. I mean, this has a law originally was created in 80s, I think. So really, all of these expressions are way too old, but nevertheless, they're still valid because they're still included in this law that is going to be enforced, nevertheless, on the January 1st.
See, like I was thinking of this when I seen this part. Like, what about, like, a lot of, I don't want to say it's the wrong way, but like, especially women channels, because a lot of mothers and stuff, and makeup channels, they use a lot of those terms, like when they talk, the yummy this and all these things like that. A lot of channels do. It puts them right in the crossfire for it, so. 1988, 1998, and it shows.
Yeah, thank you, 1998. Exactly. It does show, and then when you read through it, you see how outdated lots of the things are. I mean, it's unbelievable that they haven't actually gone through and at least postponed it to change it, give us some time and them as well. That would be first and foremost thing to ask. When you write that comment for FTC, by the way, that you can still do. So please, till 9th of December, you can still leave a comment. This would be one of them. Please review the actual ruling. It's old.
I don't mean I'm surprised they didn't include "don't have a cow, man." Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You could see where this came from, the whole fight between the Simpsons and the White House that time. Oh my God almighty.
Now, Tasha, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, because they do mention pets here. Now, in what capacity pets? I don't know. And that's the problem. Nobody knows.
You know, the problem is it's going to even come down to the agents for the FTC aren't going to be sure. Let's call it for what it is. Let's just put it into perspective for a second. That's exactly how far this is going to go in the confusion, like everything else in YouTube has in the past, except this time, there's a lot more at stake. That's what makes this one so much more of a loaded, I don't even want to use the words now, you see, because we're so on YouTube now at this point. But you get where I'm coming from. It's really that bad, because there's so much to go, and they're not going to have a clue either. It's going to be so subjective and so big a consequences for it. It is scary in that part. It definitely is.
Yeah, and forget that adults like free things as well. Well, exactly. Lots of the things that are mentioned and will be mentioned that we're talking about, there are lots of channels that are for adults. They're not made for kids, but they use lots of these things, like, for example, animated characters as part of their branding, as we just seen some channels here in the chat as well. It's not made directly for kids, but it still includes that. So it can be determined as not complying with the guidelines. And it is going to be up to FTC. I can't find the right word. FTC commissioner or
the agents.
FTC agents to determine if it is or not. It's not really, it's very subjective. It's you determining. YouTube doesn't have responsibility about it. And then FTC agent comes in and basically says if you were right or not marking your channel or video the way you did. Don't take this lightly. That is very true. Let's see what else is there, what we can get into. Some language, and next one is whether the website uses visual content appealing to children.
As a side note, guys, when we got all that booting going on, it even resent our request to have this from Luna Monetization, so I just had to apply again. So just to make YouTube even a little more fun. There you go.
I'm going to start placing a Teletubby in every video because I'm a rebel, and followed by a lot of cuss words and see what happens. Well, definitely you should be marking it as for kids. Whether the website uses visual content appealing to children, animated characters, bold or fast-moving graphics, bright and vibrant colors. Like, what is this? What is bright and vibrant colors and bold and fast-moving graphics?
I mean, okay, let's talk layman's terms for a second. If you take it at face value, we get it. If it was completely directed to kids, it's a kids show, kids content. It's Barbies playing in a house and all that. I get where all this stuff plays into. The problem is it's not going to stop there. And then how far does it blend into everything else? This is so subjective. I mean, it covers a whole array. It's almost impossible to completely protect yourself because there's no way to, because you never know when you haven't crossed the line unless you do the whole thing in monochrome. Let's get the red triangles on the screen.
Well, we have red triangles here, but maybe black and red is not a good combination,
Yep.
If it would be neon combination or something. Who knows? What combination is
there any children in here right now with their parents are getting excited by what the colors they see on the screen? Let us know.
Yeah.
Are they hopping up and down? Do they want to go and buy something from Mattel after seeing these? Please let us know.
NW Divery, I just mark it as not for kids and be done with it. Is that wrong? Yes. Because if they find a video that is, in their eyes, made for kids, meaning that the children that we're talking about, all of this can be in your videos, then you can be fined and sued.
Yep.
It's not about if you actually intended to make this video for kids. It's about if all these characteristics apply and therefore kids could be watching it. That's what it is about. And that's so confusing. I don't know why YouTube even worded it that way. It's so confusing. Made for kids sounds like, well, I made it for kids.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, we know the videos for the most part. Basically, everything our daughter watches and that would fall under made for kids for the most part.
Yeah.
It's directly made for it. If it was that easy to understand and that simple, this would be an easy walk for all of
Well,
us.
our daughter yesterday was watching infographics show. I mean, the subject is not really for kids, but bright colors, animations, they do fall under the rule.
That is true. You know, that is a big. I never. You know those kind of crappy websites where they could, you know, they have a bunch of kids games onto one. Well, my daughter was playing with it. She was about 4 at the time, I think.
Yeah.
So it's different games are popping up and she's grabbing them, and they're little kids games, you know, kind of like knockoffs of like kind of board game Tetris, etc. I was gone for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes or so. I come back in. Oh, she's still playing all right. Now she has a game up there, and it's how to put together a .45 revolver. And all the parts are laying out, everything. The barrel, everything, the clip and all that stuff. And you got to put it back together while the clock goes down. And she's clicking away, and she's actually doing quite good at it. What's, hats off to her, I guess, or terrifies you, depending how you look at it. But nonetheless, yeah, it was just in seamlessly with all the other games, without even a blink of an eye. It was just between there and the next one, which was probably like tic-tac-toe or something like that. So, you know those ones of the games where you have like the picture and you got to move around all the cues to make the see the actual photo? Yep, so anything is possible on here, guys. Anything is possible.
Yeah, and that's the bad side about it. But you know, lots of these channels, if you haven't seen infographics, just search it on YouTube, and you'll see what I mean. The subject is definitely not kids, made for kids, but it's animated. Okay, next one here is use of host characters. Excuse me. Often a character property used offline on television, in movies, comics, or books. So that means any characters from movies, like superheroes, any comic books. Question, anime?
Well, that's it. There's a gigantic gray area in that.
Most likely. It's animated, it's
Yep.
characters, groups of characters. So most likely anime channels are going to be...
Furry, I mean, a lot of people into all these different things. And even within these, remember, guys, this is not limited to, because a lot of the big collecting channels are terrified right now, and rightfully so, because there doesn't seem to be any line drawn between them as a collector versus a kid playing with them. Even though they do not gear their channels in any shape or form. That's what's happening. All the Lego channels, all the Marvel channels, all the Disney channels, etc., 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 are all right in the line of sight for this one, and then fades into the gray, as we're just saying, with anime, etc. and that. Where does it stop?
Yeah.
Where nobody can put a line on that one. It's as suggestive as it could be. Funko channels, yes, Willie's World Media, exactly. Funko channels are really in a mess on this one. Most definitely they are. I always find this subject so touchy to talk about, because it's got nothing to do with our opinion. We don't have any bad opinions towards anybody. We understand there's a divide between kids channels who play with these and talk with them, and collectors who collect them for their monetary value, their sentimental value, etc., etc., etc. The problem is the lines aren't going to be drawn when it comes to this. That's the whole issue.
I'm doing impersonation even though marked for adults. Would that be okay? I'm just being creative and having fun. Well, depends on kind of impersonations you're doing. If you're doing impersonation of characters that could be appealing for kids, then no, it is not made for adults according to this ruling.
Nope, you have to go onto the kids side, because kids can be drawn to it. Good evening, Ian. How are you? Great to see you. The Still Winter Nations in the house. Maya So Classy, how are you? Welcome as well. Welcome to everybody in here, by the way. Sorry, guys. We've been deep in this conversation. We're going to take everybody's comments in a few minutes. Foco Nerd Shark, how are you? Great to see you. Crap My Dad Makes Me Watch. Barrel Boy Woods, Minion Motors in the house. Graceful Spirit Array, Project Pops, Tales of Solstice. Just catching a couple guys off the top. Wilder Scotland as well. Great to have each and every one of you folks in here. We're just going through some cards here, guys. Going through the whole process, folks. The whole process. On just the lighter side for a second, can I just show you in the thumbnail? Because I need his approval. Ian is in the house, Stillwater Nation. There you go. This was the original thumbnail we were going to go with tonight, but we didn't want to put shed too much of a comedic light on what's going on, because we do know it's very serious. But I know your humor, I know your drawing, so I thought you would at least have some appreciation for this one. So this is what we wanted to go with. So that was our first intent. We did tear it down because of the subject matter, but yeah, so thought you would like that. It seems to be in your realm of humor, so. Heck yeah, I love it. So fun. Okay, I was wondering what you thought.
Minion Model asked, should he change the channel name? You know, I say no, but YouTube in their description says that any content falls under the new guidelines. So really, I don't think anybody has answers to any of these questions, and Walker family is right here, because it says any content. So, you know, thumbnails, descriptions, titles, video itself. I don't know the name of the channel. I hope not. I hope it doesn't go to that, but I don't know. I hope they don't get us pity to that.
This is what I said the other night, guys. I know there's some channels that are going around and saying, like, you know, go live and we're going to tell you, you know, which videos you should remove and which shouldn't, and that. Highly, highly, highly irresponsible. We don't know near enough about it. The FTC doesn't know near enough about it. In the end, that's one thing. I would never, in a million years, open it up and say, okay, guys, let's take a look at your channels and see what this and that. We don't have the answers, guys. That is what's so bad about this when it's said and done. These are some of the loosest guidelines with the largest consequences that have ever happened on YouTube coinciding with each other. There's a recipe for disaster into it. We know there's going to be some channels that are going to be in a real disaster over it. What is the line? Nobody knows. You want to protect yourself? You want the honest answer? And I know I don't like saying it. I know people like Jim, especially Video and Colin Show, are going to cringe when I say it. But let's call a spade for a spade second. Let's get down to brass tacks. You want to know how to protect yourself? You have to be the most absolute, conservative, bland thing on YouTube. You can't go anywhere near a gray line. That means you would have nothing that ever remotely, even the most inkling, would touch into anything a child may take the simplest of interest into. Because don't forget, there's a lot of overlap between children and adults when it comes to entertaining. It's not a fine line. It's a line that doesn't exist because it varies so much. We talked about The Simpsons a while ago. People from 5 to 90 were watching it. Okay? Same on here. So where does it start? Where does it go? So if that's the only true advice anyone can ever give you, if you're seriously worried about you want to protect yourself, that'd be about the only way, is to turn into the most bland oatmeal channel that can possibly be created on YouTube. To know that you're almost in the clear completely without ever anything to worry about. It's a sad, that's why I say, guys, I would never, ever sit there and tell somebody, oh, you're safe on this and safe on that. We're giving opinions, we're talking, but we'll never directly answer for a channel that should do something or not. Because we don't know, you don't know, YouTube doesn't know, and the FTC doesn't know. You've seen all these, you've seen how this is worded. There's not one tiny iota of this that actually is concrete in any shape or form. Oh my God almighty. I hear you, Andrew, but I can't bring myself to censor that which needs to be said. Exactly, Jim, and you know me, buddy. I respect what you do, I know where you stand, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for it. I'm just saying, though, you know what I'm saying in the end is right. If we wanted to cover ourselves 9 ways from Sunday, we would be going that route. Because basically, how can you argue anything different after looking at these? And don't forget that, bring in everything else that's happened to YouTube over the time. Just these ones have the biggest consequences. There is no wiggle room anymore because you can't wiggle because you never know when you're going to go outside the lines. That's the simple truth, guys. And The biggest ones of all, not PewDiePie. Don't ever pick on the big YouTubers because they get crapped on just as much as us. The ones brought in from TV, the transplanted ones, the Jimmy Fallons, the Will Smiths and them, they'll still have wiggle room because they'll still be bonded, if you will, to be able to get that kind of leeway that not any of us will be able to dream of at all in any shape or form.
Thank you so much, the Creator Spotlight Show, for tweeting it out.
Appreciate
and hello to you. Blue collar fishing, I'll address it at the end. That's not really completely correct, but I will address that. And Mandy Mixed Media Queen, so how will they decide who will get fines? Well, like I said at the beginning, these are the points that FTC agents will be going through when determining if your video or channel as a whole is made for kids or not. This is actually taken from the COPPA guideline handbook, and I will link it down below afterwards. You can find it on the FTC website as well. It's the actual excerpt. That's why we included the screenshots, because it's word for word exactly what they are and will be using. The age of the models portrayed on the website or video using children as models. Well, what they mean here is not models, modeling, is mean as a character, as a person, as a main or secondary creator, or whatever you want to say, in a YouTube video. So, for example, our videos with kids that we have with kids all throughout will have to be marked made for kids because our daughter is 8 years old. It's under 13.
Yep.
Like, it's not made for kids. It's not directly made and created for kids, but
There wasn't kids watching it.
yeah.
We know our audience.
Exactly, but our daughter is 8 in those videos, so they will be marked as made for kids.
They'll look at that thumbnail and say right away off the thumbnail that there's a way that kids can look at that and it will draw them in. Children are drawn into children items, whether it's other children, all these things. We get all that what they're saying. The problem is it's all being used in the context of where adults mention stuff but don't make it the focal point, or make it the focal point about kids up towards other adults, how kids could stumble in and possibly be attracted. Therefore, it's all going to fall under kids' content. Thank you so much, the Bee Lady. Really do appreciate it. Once again, we are under limited monetization, guys. And we even had to reappeal because we all got booted, including myself. So YouTube's working hard on us. They're working hard on us. We did get our green last night again. It came about 2 hours after the live stream was over, just in time to not help whatsoever. So the tweeting out, guys, hitting the like button and telling friends really, really does help out a lot. I did not like the FTC dude saying it's like shooting fish in a barrel. YouTube is a barrel, creators of the fish. Exactly, the Creator Spotlight Show. And it's true. It really is.
Yep, and YouTube is washing their hands off. This is part of their agreement. This is part of the government regulation, not YouTube, so there's nothing they can do. What is the age of children? 13 and younger, or if it is different in the country of your residence. There's actually different age requirements depending on the country that you're in. Some has 14, some has 15. So in the United States it is 13. So that will be the minimum, but then if in your country it is 14 or 15 or whatever it is, then it's going to be that and under. So that's what is counted.
I know some of you heard it before. Do you mind I'll just do the quick thing about the example with the farmer again?
Yep.
Okay, guys, like this is an example. This is just one of my ways of trying to put it, how it's going to work. This is just an example on my interpretation onto it. Remember, this doesn't erase any of the gray value onto it. A farmer is interviewed, does a video, and he's a chicken farmer, and he talks about production coming up for the next year. He's saying that he's got this many eggs, he expects more to come. We've bought 14 new rows of incubators, etc., etc., etc. That is adult. That is content not geared towards kids. Okay. Now, if the same farmer does that whole thing again, the exact same script, but this time in the video he has these 2 kids with him, or 1 kid with him. And even to grade up a bit more, never thought of putting this in before. What if he's holding like the pet rooster, like all the time like that, like it's a pet, or the pet dog is with them all the time playing around him as he's talking? That could grade up. But if he has the kids with him the whole time talking about this, then it should be marked as geared towards children in theory, because the children have been there for a large majority of the video. They do not need to be doing all the participation, but they're laughing and smiling, interacting with their dad, son, waving at the camera, whatever they're doing. That is more likely to draw children in to watch it. Therefore, in theory, it should be marked as made for children, even though he's talking the whole time about the farming process and that those kids have become a focal point of it. Another gray area and all that is, if they're in it for 2 out of the 10 minutes, but they're solidly there for 2 minutes interacting and talking, does that count? And they should be marked as geared towards children as well, because they were a focal point for a long enough period of time. Gray area. So that's the other one as well. So that's the difference between it, just by adding the children into it, how it can change everything. Once again, if that farmer does a video, but instead of talking about the egg production, he's talking about more like, holding the chicken and giving it a name and talking to it and keeping it more engaging, using some of those cute terms that were around a while ago, or talking more towards a larger audience by keeping the words shorter, more colorful and stuff. Most likely then he would have to mark it as made for children, because the way it was done was more geared towards something that a child would sit down and want to watch, because it was geared in their kind of language and that. So just an example of just changing it, just changing the scenarios in the same startup layout, how it can change everything, whether it is or not. And this is just a way of talking about it. This is no way means that's any gray area, any black and white area when it should be done, but just some examples.
Yeah, thank you so much, Project Pops. I was sharing already the change.org petition, as well as, I think, even better option of writing the full-fledged comment on the official FTC comment section, where they actually will be reading it. I mean, it's great to sign the petition, and it's good. There's almost 400,000 signatures already. It just shows the power in amount of YouTubers there are.
Yep.
But it's good also to explain the situation and leave the comment, because you can definitely go a little bit more into that there.
Most definitely.
Now there is a question about how much kids should be in a video. Well, it's not specified, but common sense dictates that majority of the video, so 60% of the video, 51%, 60% of the video has kids in it, then that would count it. But
I beg.
it's not. Not specified.
No, and I do think it's a valid argument. Say it's a 10-minute video, and say minutes 3 and 4 are constantly the kids with heavy interaction into it. Does that tip the scales?
Yep.
Versus them passing in and out within 10 minutes, waving and the odd hi or something. Do they could then be considered a predominant part of that video? I think they do in that part, or at least I think that would open up the chance for the FTC to have issue with the way you branded your video, branded the category of your video. Hi there, David, the producer. Happy Tuesday to you as well. Hope you and the missus are doing absolutely fantastic. Always great to see you. Juliet just did a fantastic interview, guys, with 70s heartthrob Leaf Garrett, guys. Fantastic job she did. Definitely make sure to check out Juliet Miranda. The Itchy Guru, how are you? Great to see you.
Do you think the petition will work with it being a federal law? Well, one thing that has been happening, they actually have hired YouTubers, and some of the YouTubers have gone to DC talk with FTC commissioners. We're waiting on some of the news as well. And there are still some new creators going and talking with them. They're trying to inform YouTube. The FTC have admitted that they don't understand YouTube. It's so ridiculous. But they don't understand YouTube, and they're trying to understand it more. So maybe it's going to change something. We can try. That's all we can do.
Want to go back to the next point?
Yep.
All right, there you go.
Okay, so then the next one would be the...
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whether advertising appearing on the website or video is directed to children under 13, ads for products primarily purchased or consumed by kids, or ads that are presented in such way that appear to be directed to children. Now, this also implies and includes reviews of the items that could be advertised for kids. So it doesn't talk only about the actual advertisement per se. It talks about objects or anything that could be sold for kids, like they mentioned at the beginning, like cereal, snacks, toys, toy reviews, unboxings, that could include any items. So anything that you are purchasing for reviewing or unboxing that kids would be geared towards kids primarily, would be under this law as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all I carry on. You didn't create that one. I think that one is a little more
Yeah.
I don't go ahead.
Next one.
Yeah.
Audio content appealing to children, simple or popular tunes or songs, cartoon voices, childlike noises, and sound effects.
I want to come back to this one. This has been a lot of questions, especially stuff that goes on, antics and hijinks on live streams especially, and stuff like that, some videos. A lot of people have been asking us. This is where it really starts to get gray and dangerous for a lot of people. I know a lot just want to get on and have some fun, burn off some steam on a Friday night. That's where these things can really come back to bite you. Big time now. Big time. So, Premier Hell was a great example we were talking about with the cat face that he uses. You know? I know we're going back to visuals for a second, but just that popped in my head. We all know what he's doing. He's just, it's a cat head. Everybody's getting a kick out of it. It's geared towards adults. It's not like it's some kitty cat in a PBS special. But nonetheless, once they started this, all of a sudden everything is up for grabs, and everything that was done in context now that we all understood can really get us in a lot of trouble now. And this is something that really would happen a lot. You see it happening on live streams, as well as some videos and stuff like that. And we make up adult songs with kids tunes to go, in the key of kids tunes, etc. Lots doing cartoon voices, all kinds of childlike noises, all that stuff. Everything there happens a lot and was done quite innocently. But now, not so much anymore. So, oh my God, we have all the echo. Oh God, I'm sorry. We had such an issue tonight with the mixing board. I apologize for that. Thank you for letting me know. Who was that? Sean and Casey, yes, thank you for letting me know about the echo. I didn't realize it was on so heavy. Thank you so much. Sit back and listening, not for kids. Sparky, how are you? Great to see you. Hope you're doing fantastic. You guys are absolutely awesome.
Nobody is going to be notifying you if you do something wrong, Papa Roams Outdoors, and that's another problem. YouTube is going through with their bots and marking the channels and videos as we speak. So sometimes you're going to go on your channel and you're actually going to be seeing that they're already marked or changed from what you originally marked. But they're not responsible for it. So obviously they're not going to be able to go through all content on YouTube and take responsibility of them. The creator is responsible for marking it correctly. YouTube might catch it, YouTube might not, but starting January 1st, if YouTube catches, they will penalize you, still not detailed how. And if FTC catches you, well, they will fine you. So it's up to us basically to
100% on you as
Yeah.
the creator. 100% on you. And I know some are saying, I've been saying that, and not knowing why, and saying, I'm just going to let YouTube, they'll knock them off. Do not wait for YouTube. Go back and look at your channel indirectly. If you think your channel's okay, then mark it as it's not geared towards kids. Then you're going to start looking at your videos and thinking in general. Is there anything I can think of off the top of my head that can be considered under these new guidelines, and go and mark them as such? And then if you're really not sure, get some coffee, get everything planned, and start a marathon of jumping through and seeing where you are, seeing your other old videos and stuff like that, and do the most diligent job you possibly can of making sure everything is covered, and anything that could be considered as geared towards kids is marked accordingly. It's your responsibility 100% on here.
Jack Finnegan, you're so right. Parental consent can take this all away, but YouTube isn't doing anything about that. And you're right. If there are actual clause in COPPA where it says there's specifics that parents would have to go through email and writing the consent, but it actually would be possible. It would be a plan B of YouTube asking parental consent through email, and like I said, it's detailed out in COPPA. But YouTube decided not to because it's just easier to do it this way.
YouTube could have handled this years ago if they had jumped into it back when they did, and it was very simple. They set up a proper YouTube Kids, great incentives for all the channels that are geared towards kids specifically to move over there, get them over, done with, do up a new terms of service for both. And this one clearly would have stated that anybody under 13 without an adult's permission is not as barred from here. and they take no responsibility for it. If they had dealt with it in time before it got so crazy on here, we probably wouldn't be having a lot of these conversations. This could have been easily fixed a long time, and it really should have been. It really should have been. That option should have been out there for kids a long time ago, done properly, accessed by all platforms, by all operating systems, etc., all different devices, and there you go. There's the place for 13-year-olds. If they stumble into the other one, it's the damn parents' fault. We've done our part. We've covered our bases. We gave a full option into it. Now, it's up to you to look after your kids. But they didn't. And that's what happens when something like the FTC steps in. Now all bets are off, and this is where we are. And Xenia's exactly right. They took the lazy way out on the other one. We talked last night about it. I do believe in one way, you know what, if everybody had to register to be on here, it would get rid of, if either by credit card or by some other identity. At least then there'd be accountability. It would get rid of most of the troll accounts. It would get rid of most of the problem accounts. It would also verify that everybody's the age they should be to be on here, which would open up the gateways to be able to have advertising and not have all the problems we have. But it's not going to happen either, so now we're left with what we got, which is absolutely a disaster. Because none of us here, and don't feel bad that you don't understand what's going on in here. Gigantic channels do not understand what's going on here. Gigantic channels have no true way to understand if they cross the line or not. So don't be hard on yourself if this is all kind of coming over as confusing and you don't know what to do. You're not alone, so you don't have to feel guilty about it. You don't have to feel upset about it. You don't feel stupid about it. Everybody is feeling the same way you are. And even when they had the audacity to tell people to check with your legal department or your lawyers, guess what? There's no lawyer fully would understand this anyways, because there's never been any clear set guidelines. So how can a lawyer sit there and tell you, yeah, you're good, yeah, you're not? They're going to tell you be on the conservative side. If it dances in there, don't do it. That's what any good lawyer is going to tell them. So it's a disastrous mess with huge consequences into it, and we're all paying the price. And it is scary when you have channels, all of us included here, who could face some pretty stiff fines when we're not bringing in near enough to cover them. That's the short and simple of all this. We could debate it for days and run around it, but in the end, that's what it comes down to. So don't feel bad about your confusion. You have no need to. It's absolutely understood because everybody else is feeling the same way you are.
That's right.
Next one.
Next one is interactivity. Whether the website or video hosts interactive child-oriented activities and incentives such as surveys, polls aimed at kids, prizes or premiums that are kids-oriented, homework help, contests, games, pen pals, who does those anymore? Chat rooms, posting winners' homepages, stories or artwork, guest books, downloads or screensavers, electronic postcards or e-cards that could be geared at kids. So anything interactive going on in your videos that could be amusing to kids basically includes that as well. Homework help is an interesting one. Yesterday we had a teacher here in the chat, and that was a question, like, will that fall under the guideline? And apparently it does. So if you are helping with math equations, or if you're explaining the geography lesson on your channel as part of educational content, that will fall under this as well. Melody Marian Lindorf, hello, how are you? Pixelpia Teaching and Learning, there you are. I was talking about you.
Does anybody remember? I was so stuck on Jim's comment. Oh my God. Does anybody remember this video from H3 Production where they made fun of Nature Valley? And they were talking about how out of sync it was because, you know, they're like, oh my God, my kid spends too much time. And the old guy starts almost bawling because his grandkids play video games. And they ask the kids what they do, and they're like, we like writing emails and stuff. And Ethan's joking about how out of date they are and how disconnected. Every kid loves doing email in this time. And then you go look at something like this, you got pen pals into it and everything else. Like that's that one on steroids at this part. It just shows you the age into all this when this was written up. Unbelievable. Pen pals.
Yeah, well, Walker family is asking how old is this information? Information is now invalid. The problem is that the COPPA itself was created in 1998 Thank you, video call and show once again.
Yes.
And basically haven't been really changed in wording whatsoever. So therefore, lots of these things seem like they are outdated. That's because they are, but it doesn't mean that they're not active and in place.
Yeah,
they are.
They are. No, nobody's taking that away from it. It's just
Yeah.
insanely written, and it just shows you the disconnect right from the get-go that's been going on in here.
I would really suggest if you go and leave a comment on FTC comment section to ask them to postpone the date to review the language and the wording of the actual guidelines. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, they should be actually rewriting it first before they're implementing something that was created 30, years ago.
If anybody is caught on a YouTube video playing stickball, horseshoes, hopscotch, and or chase the horse, will face dire consequences.
Okay, so the next one is electronic games, and this was a big question first, but obviously the site is one devoted to electronic games, one that has game reviews, tips, cheats, game characters, chat rooms for gamers who play games, or any type of computer equipment, and is of interest to children 12 and under. You should circle yes. Why it says you should circle yes, that means, once again, it is for the FTC agents who are going to be reviewing the channels and the video contents based on these points that we just showed you. So if you have gaming channel, basically, or you're live streaming your gaming, and the game is it is for 13 and under included, you're done. You're basically done, because you are made for kids under these rules. Computer equipment? What computer equipment? How much of computer equipment falls under made for kids? It's a good question. But live stream, any role playing, any tutorials on playing games, lots of these content that kids love watching is falling under this as well. Roblox community was up into antics as well about it, because basically the whole community is going to be wiped off for now, at least as it stands, because of the content that it has. Although Roblox do have also a little bit more mature games, the majority of it is for kids as well, and therefore most likely it's going to fall under it. Minecraft, the question is falling under or not. It's still under question. If it's still generalized, it might fall under this as well, because it is a game and kids play it, and so on and so on. Good evening, the Popcorn Kid. Hello.
Welcome. Mesa, Ade, how are you? Welcome as well. Great to see all you guys in here. Everybody that's joined recently, it's a pleasure to have you in. We got the conversation going on COPPA tonight, so we're going through some of the points that's been brought up in that and discussing them. So all the Twitch is bankrupt by 2020. Well, I hope at least if they're going to do a video games, if there's any saving grace, they might follow it at least by the recommended guidelines for what the game is at. If it has a mature rating, etc., all that stuff. But the argument's made that tons of kids play them as well, even though they're made for their. It depends how snowflake it gets. It really does.
Oh, sincerely, Kristen, I know Roblox can get really dirty.
Yeah.
Our daughter plays Roblox, and even the kids' games, sometimes it's just like you gotta really watch what they're doing there. Most games are 18 and plus. Well, if it is 18 and plus, then you should be marking it as mature, and then you're losing all your advertising whatsoever.
No push, no nothing. You're just there. You might as well shadow ban. You're basically shadow banning yourself.
Yeah. So you got to fall somewhere in between of that.
Yeah.
Gaming channels. Yes. Now, next one is gonna be a big one.
Yeah.
If the site appears to be of primary interest to teens, but of interest to children 12 and under, you should circle yes. Once again, it's one of the points. These are sites that are aiming at children under age 18, but are not primarily directed to children 12 and under. Sites that are primary interest to teens may use the word teen, teenage models, or be focused on subject matter that is popular with teens, such as music, sexuality, dating, makeup, and clothing.
They're back what you were asking a minute ago. So there you go.
So it's not, and that's why this applies to so many channels. It's not only if your video is primarily geared or includes kids. It's also if it could be a secondary audience.
Sorry, I just got to clear this up because Papa Rome says, so if we put not for kids, we don't get paid at all. No, not geared towards kids. It puts you in the, basically we'll call it for a moment, the normal category. It's called, if you market for 18 and over, then you don't, there's no advertising, no nothing with it. So you're shadow banned basically. Sorry, I just wanted to clear that up because no.
Not for kids, it does not equal mature content.
No.
I don't know again why they put
That's
it all
why I
the
just
same.
call it for, we'll call it for a minute, we'll call it the normal category, the majority category, I guess we'll call it just for the sake of argument.
Yes, they do have YouTube Kids.
Yep.
YouTubekids.com, also available on desktop starting just a month ago. Way too late.
Just lost half of YouTube right there.
Yep.
Especially the biggest trendsetters.
This is the biggest one, I think, out of all, because a lot of channels are... What are teens not watching?
Well, a great example would be something like Jake Paul. We're going to take one of the big ones for a minute. Logan Paul, especially Jake Paul. This has Jake Paul written all over it.
PewDiePie. Septipie.
Yep.
Anything.
Yep.
I mean, wow. Otero Studios, I don't know, because you just came in and you are doing animations and you actually might fall into that you have to market as made for kids. Once again, it is not about what your intentions are. It is about what your videos and content contains. You might think that you didn't make it for kids, but the content of it is intended for kids. The animations, the comics, all of that. Otero Studios, we did just mention that.
Remy Moore, welcome. The Electric Beard, welcome. Who was it asking? I'm sorry, guys. There's so many in here. I'm missing somebody. Damon Warren asked, like, what do you put Pusa Studios under? Well, this stuff here is all under not geared towards children. Okay. This stuff, all pretty basically all over on the roads and stuff like that, all towards children. We got to go back when we hit, what was it, 4,000 and 8,000, and then once where the kids sat down and had cake with us for a long time and did all this stuff. To be safe for it, we have to mark them as geared towards children because the kids sat on our laps eating cake, there was candles going, stuff like that. So it is in theory something that would appeal to other children. So like this list here right away is just I'm just using a quick example. We're gonna have to go through it more. But right off the bat, pretty much all this except for where I'm driving by myself here, all of the family vacations with stuff we did onto it, that's all gonna be marked as kids right away. This is more definite. But then we'll fall into more stuff that's going to be a little trickier, like when we talked about The Simpsons here and stuff like that, and make sure that we cover ourselves and really evaluate them if it can continue to be evaluated as for not geared towards kids, or can the argument be made because of the thumbnail and the topic that it is something drawn to kids, because guess what? It is based around a couple of famous characters that are viewed by children. So we are evaluating we're doing as well. So the most of the other stuff here, for the most part, is in the normal category. Like I say, I'm just calling it normal for a minute, or the majority category, which is not geared towards children. But yeah, there's a lot of evaluation. Everybody's got to do it. Do visual chat rooms containing vulgar language make a difference?
Well, see, there was a question about if, for example, there's animated characters but they're cursing. Is that made for kids? Most likely it is.
Because the argument to be said that it's the characters on the screen that draw kids in. You can't base, it's not about the context of the general scenario. It really falls down more to, is there enough elements into it in one shape or form that will make kids, if they walk by or if they stumble across it, want to sit down and keep watching it. That's what it comes down. And for the majority of it's adult stuff like that, they're going to look at it and go on because it's not even catching their eye. But in the eyes of the way this law is written and with the gray verity of it, lots of stuff can fall into it that shouldn't, but it has enough of the criterion to make them consider that children could watch it.
Isn't it just safer to put bot for kids to protect ourselves, even if children are in it? Not for kids? No, because if you're putting it wrongly, you're going to be fine. It's actually safer to put for kids than not for kids.
Exactly.
I mean, you're losing lots of the things if you do that, though. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be putting it just randomly.
Mm.
Duke family, yeah, by the way, guys, once again, we can't exactly
No.
consult you on your channel directly. We might voice our opinion about it, but it's you at the end who is going to be responsible about deciding what content it is and what do you fall under, because you know your content, you are watching it, you're creating it. So please don't rely on anybody suggesting you how you should be or should not be doing it. You can, get the opinions, but then make your decision yourself.
And we do ask that people not be offended, messaging us and stuff like that, asking us to go over their channel with them or go over their videos with them, tell them which ones they should. We will not do it in any shape or form, because there is no steadfast rule on how this goes. It's subjective, and in the end, you have to bear the consequence of it. And we would feel highly irresponsible of ever stepping in and doing that. It would be just false safety into it. We already have to question, like I said, I just showed you one video that we have to question ourselves about where it stands. There's going to be other ones like that. Everybody's going to have to go through this one. Best advice, stay as far on the conservative side of it as possible. If it seems like you're questioning a bit for it should be kids or not, probably best to go with it and do it. And cover yourself.
Old guy on a bike, your main thing is be past the attention of the FTC agent. That's the main objective. Not even kids. We don't know how long is the FTC agent attention span.
Yeah, that's something. That would be an interesting one. Yes, if we have an FTC agent listening in, could you please chime in and let us know? Or maybe they haven't been interested. This was too much of their interest and they're gone now.
What do we do if mark them wrong? Well, you can always change it, like I said, unless YouTube has changed it for you, then it is what it is. So you can change it. If you marked it wrong and you want to change it now, you can change it. But if it's going to be wrong starting January 1st, then and they catch you, then there are going to be penalties.
Our poor son is climbing across to this new layout. He's literally crawling across the floor to grab Xenia's cup. So now when you're done, just give me your coffee if you want. No, I'll put it here. And then
Perfect.
I feel bad for
You
her.
don't have undecided option. You have to choose one or the other by January 1st, because
Yep.
YouTube will bring out its own penalties. Again, not detailed yet. If you don't do it. It actually states that all creators have to mark their channels and videos.
Yep.
No exceptions.
Nope. And it doesn't matter if you have 20 videos or 20,000. They're all up for grabs, guys. Right from the beginning. So
I'm gonna make geriatric cinematic videos going forward. Cardoso Media, I know, right?
oh my god.
Beer reviews and cannabis channels, it could be liberating for those types of channels. Well, those types might still fall under mature subject, which is another question. And we did talk about the guidelines that came into place, I think it was May, the mature content guidelines. So if you are any of those channels, then check that out, because that's a different guidelines that went there. I see the channel option, but if you want to do a specific video change, where is that setting in? You go to your dashboard and under the video settings, you can change the audience. It only is available in YouTube Studio Beta, so you can't do it on the classic one. I say none of us do it. Show the US who's boss. My channel, all toys and stuff, so I'm kind of... Well, yeah, unfortunately, your channel definitely is going to fall under it if it is all about toys. You can dare it and hope that you're not going to get a hit, but once again, it's not just YouTube, it's actual government.
It's definitely a game. Remember, guys, the only thing is we've been through this with different changes since Apocalypse, for instance, and that. Remember, guys, this time, it is not a joke, though. And I really want you to take this. I'm even turning off the music for a sec so you can hear it fully. Remember, guys, the fines, if caught by the FTC, can go up to $42,500 US per video. And this is not a YouTube 90-day suspension. This is not anything like that. This is a whole different kettle of fish we're talking about. $42,500 per video. So definitely proceed with caution. That's for sure. Just want to get that out there. I know it's we talk a lot, in bucking the system and stuff like that, but just remember there's a lot more at stake this time than there was ever before. We're talking actual hard fines, and we're talking about the FTC. And yes, there's always, you can fight it. Do you have enough money to fight it? Do you have the time to fight it? It's the cold truth of reality on this one, guys. It really is. It really, really is. So I'm just putting that out there just as a reminder of what's at stake. If you do not choose YouTube, will it do it for you as well?
YouTube started already marking.
Yeah.
There's another question. That's why I'm picking it up. It's already started marking it as of last week.
But it's your responsibility, and if they miss it and the FTC picks up onto it, you're fully responsible. It's got no bearing on YouTube whatsoever. It's completely on your shoulders.
Yeah, it's your responsibility. And COPPA actually does voice it out exactly that it is creators' responsibility. And if you think, and that's what COPPA says, if you think that the platform that you're using is not having enough tools to avoid 13 and under of using or viewing the content, you should not produce the content for that platform.
Yep.
That's exactly what it says.
Yep.
So basically, if you're not sure, don't make videos. That's what it says.
That's almost like what YouTube did the other month when they were talking about, us being responsible for comments and that.
Yep.
If you can't manage your comments in either your live stream or your videos, disable them. The same thing here. If you can't, if you don't figure YouTube's doing enough job to cover you for it onto it, well, end YouTube. It's a very straightforward answer. These are the kind of things that are going on now that we used to never get this kind of stuff like that. It definitely does up the game a lot. I'm going to upload another video in the morning, adding another 42,000 fine to him.
Walker family, they do some, but once again, they say that they are not responsible. So good that they marked yours, but some of them are not going to be marked. And once again, they are not responsible that they marked it correctly. They are trying to help creators with doing it, but it's not. By the law, it is creators' responsibility, and YouTube also says that they are going to be marking, but at the end, it's creators' responsibility to determine which one and which is not.
You guys like us have been on here for a while. You've seen all the ridiculousness that can go on here by times that's not supposed to happen. Things they do slip by the goalie. But it's like somebody driving past your house every day. You see them, they always run the stop sign, That's all well and good until the day the cop is standing there on the other side when they do it. Then the trouble hits. So you can't expect, YouTube is not good at catching everything that happens on here. And with so much consequences to pay for it, you do not want to leave it solely up to YouTube. Even though because they are almost guaranteed going to miss tons of them that should be. And then once in a while, no, I wouldn't mark them all as child friendly, because if they're not, and secondly, you're losing out on push as well. There's all the features that are disabled by it. If they are, it has to be looked at as either your channel is fully, you know it without a doubt, it's completely geared to it. Like if you're a channel that does, I'm just bringing up what my daughter watches, with those creepy ass videos where it's like the voice for the Barbies going around the town and stuff like that, interacting with each other. Yeah. It's geared towards kids. There's no way around it. There's no gray line. There's no nothing. Adamantly, this is a kids channel. If it's story time for children every day, it's geared towards children. There's no way around it. Those ones are a given. Those are the ones you're going to mark, without a doubt. Once you're not in that category, now you have to start evaluating yourself. Do you fall enough into the children's category? And if you are, a decent amount of the time, you're better off marking your whole channel as it. But you do lose a lot of the perks from it, comments, etc., etc., etc. There's a whole list of them that are lost by it. Same as some people were saying about adding, just putting it as 18 or over. Well, you've basically just shadow banned yourself, for lack of a better term, So there you go, guys. There's a list once again of what's going to be controlled if you do put your videos as geared towards children. Starting in January, you will set an audience made for kids, personal advertising, comments, channel branding, watermark, donation button, info cards and into screens, live chat or live chat donations, playback in the multiplayer, super chat or super stickers, save to playlist. So there is lots to be lost by going down that route as well. So you really want to evaluate your channel and make sure that it is in the category that should be. Remember, guys, with $42,500 US a piece per video, you definitely want to give this some real thought. It's the biggest consequences tenfold we've ever seen on YouTube.
You thought that there was an apocalypse in 2018?
Yeah.
This is, or that is nothing compared to what is going to go on in January.
Yep. The likes.
Unfortunately, we can gray paint it whatever we want, but it is what it is. It's not even YouTube. It's not something you can appeal. There is no appeal button to begin with.
Yep.
But also, it is government. It is not. It is a government law. It is not YouTube guideline only, and that's the huge difference. Now, I wanted to make clear once again, Crystal's Pets and Plants. So you have two options, and I don't know why, to market as for made for kids or not for kids, and then to market as 18 and over or not. Now, those are two different things. If your channel is not made for kids, it is not necessarily for 18 and over only. 18 and over includes mature subjects, meaning violence, graphic, sexually explicit, alcohol, things like that, that are for 18 and over only. And only then you put it as mature content. Because if you do that, you're also going to be penalized. So you have to be in the middle. All the normal content is not made for kids and is not 18 and over. And then it just couldn't be more confusing.
And Better Days says, Pusa, can you confirm that putting a disclaimer in description is meaningless? Not only for this, but for copyright. I see it all the time for different things on Article 176 section of the blah, blah, blah for sharing. All of that is absolutely dribble to YouTube. And with this part as well for the FTC. It is meaningless in every shape or form, whether in the description, the about section, etc. At the beginning of your video or live stream, putting in disclaimers does absolutely nothing. Zero, has no bearing on their decision or if you're in the clear or not by any sense of the word. Just don't even bother putting disclaimers because they're meaningless. They're literally meaningless on YouTube.
Yeah, that's a common misconception.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
And I do see people doing that. And they're using like tons of, I come back because I see it a lot for copyright material, a lot. Oh, well, I know it's okay because I marked in the video that the section law, they don't care. They can't be bothered. They won't even give it a second glance. So, let's see here, guys. Let's see here. What happened to YouTube Kids? YouTube Kids is alive and well, and that's where everything should be. And if they had did it years ago, we wouldn't be in the mess we're in right now. They waited too late, and we're playing a game of catch-up, and we're all going to be paying the price for it. That should have been done and handled. Like, something like that should have been in place by, like, 2012. I mean, everybody's seen where YouTube was going. I mean, talk about no foresight or just pure greed. Shawdimes ASMR, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sherry also said travel. As a travel agent, I do travel news, which includes Disney and Disney Cruise Lines. Should I mark that as for kids? I would say for the most part. It's a hard one because I know your market you're going to. Me personally, at that point, I would for Disney Cruise Line stuff. I do think there's enough into it. I don't think kids will want to watch it directly. I know it's a gray area. I think you'd be more conservative on that one. Say it's more.
If you are in US, I would. If you're not, although it does apply to everybody, I would think about it. It's just a bit farther reach. They still say that they will do it, but if you are in US, it's just going to be so much easier.
And that's all true. The problem with this is that there's so much more to lose now, because we're talking a huge monetary value as a possibility. All of us care about our channels, and I remember when we had things like this happen, people come in, I don't want to lose my channel. I don't care if I lose my channel. They could take the video if they want. But this time, the game has completely changed, because we're talking about a huge sum of money that could be involved into it. That's the dividing factor. That's why I would tend to always go more on the conservative side for that simple reason, because there's just too much to lose in here now. I really do.
Yes, play worthy. The Prudent Girl, hello, how are you? My non-traditional life. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right. You will put the link to the information you showed today afterwards. Yes, of course, definitely. As always, our previous YouTube both live streams that we did about Apocalypse a couple of months ago when it just came out and everybody was saying, oh, it's just going to affect family channels. Remember the first time when we did that Apocalypse video?
Yeah.
We contacted some of the bigger YouTubers and they were like, well, it's only going to affect only family channels. And we're like, no, like read through it. And now a couple of months later, everybody is exploding about it. So we did a video again last week and both the videos are linked down below with descriptions. Informational links on everything that you need to know and contact FTC as well.
It's always been the same thing that the people that do it the most gray areas of these type of things tend to get hit the hardest. The ones who are directly in the line of fire, they know where they have to act. There's no way out. They know where they have to go. It's always going to be the gray area that takes the hardest hit. And every time something like this has been implemented, that's usually who comes in our channel saying, oh my God, I don't know what happened. I just got to have my videos taken down. I just got this. I just got that. I don't know what I did wrong. And it is because their channel was indirectly falling into the gray lines of it. Yes, their primary concern is for the kids' content. That's right. But that branches into everything from people talking about mental health, about kids and all these things and that, which just trails off and off and off. And yes, the fringe ones for the most part should be okay. But nobody can say for certain what pops up on the radar and how, like you brought up that example last night. Well, yes, YouTube is nothing but gray areas. That's the whole problem. And it's not just with this. I mean, look at ever since the new restrictions on gun channels, hunting channels, teaching how to clean fire, et cetera, and all that stuff. Look at the crackdown on the family channel. Everything has just grown and grown to basically we're just swimming in murky waters all the time. There's almost nothing left on here you can do crystal clear. Actually, one of the few you can, surprising it is 18 over content, because at least you know your balls in the walls and what you're doing. You're not going to get any push now and you're going to get basically shadow banned, but it's one of the few segments where you can actually know where you stand for the most part, because you basically are just geared away from offending anybody, and no advertiser will touch you with a 10-foot pole. But the trade-off for doing that is nobody's going to be watching. You've elected to shadow ban yourself. Basically, you've done the job for them and said, here, ban, don't send me to anybody.
And yes, you're right. We're going to know for sure when somebody's going to get hit with a lawsuit. That's exactly, we're going to know more after the first sweep. But do you want to be under that sweep?
And some channels are going to get hit for no reason. And once again, that's for sure. But I mean, who can fight it? Who can afford to fight it? The cartoon character part is still confusing. I know an art channel that makes adult and general audience content isn't sure if they'll get. Well, that's we've been talking. There's lots of them in that fall in that category.
Most likely, animated characters are included in that. And first of all, if under YouTube, bot is gonna pick up as animated character for sure. And then for COPPA, FTC agent is going to be up to them to determine if it is not or it is. Are they going to be watching all of it to determine if it's not for kids? I don't know. But in that, it is included animated characters, any characters that are popular, attracted to kids, like I don't know, Spider-Man, Batman, comic book superheroes, and so on.
I know we all want to make sense of it, and that's normal as creators, human beings, everything. That's the first thing we try to do is find some way to make this black and white, something that at least we know where we stand. But it's not going to be that easy with this one, guys. It really is not. It's going to be, there's a lot at stake and a lot of ways to fall into it, I am Brexiting YouTube. I'm going back to pre-internet Brit. Well.
Now, this is going to apply to all internet, social media, and streaming platforms. It is going to be up to platforms themselves how they handle it. Like it was said in the chat, there is option of asking for parental consent through email and verification that is included in COPPA. YouTube chose to opt out of this, at least for now. Maybe other platforms are going to choose to use that option, we don't know, but this rule applies to all the platforms. So jumping from YouTube to somewhere else is not going to solve it, because it is not just YouTube.
Set it and forget it. Adult-only animations is on almost all channels, thumbnails, etc. Yeah.
Well, if it's adult only, you'll lose all your monetization. So
Everything. And you guys have heard us talk in the past about shadow banning. That you've basically elected to have yourself shadow banned. You basically are almost non-existent on the platform. That's the sad, and that's the sad part of it, because there's actually a market for it where they could, once again, if they were doing the ID thing and that, they could really capitalize on stuff like that to a certain extent.
YouTube is going to lose money in this. Like we were talking about that last week, that around 4 or 5 years ago, YouTube revenue was about $9 billion. Now it's around, estimated that by the end of this year, it's going to be around 20 billion. That's mostly thanks to kids advertising, by the way. And it also estimated that the channels that will be marked for kids is going to lose up to 90% of their revenue, which in turn means a loss of revenue for YouTube as well. That's why they're pushing a lot of their memberships. If you notice, you probably, when you sign into YouTube, you see, do you want to upgrade? That's why, because they want you to buy in to make sure that the advertising is paid for. They're going to find a way. They're a huge company. They're a conglomerate. They are going to lose money at first, for sure, but they're most likely going to find the way. Maybe one of the ways is going to be what Andrew talked about yesterday.
Maybe we'll see down the road. It is Google. It is Google's YouTube's fault. They've been collecting personal information from kids for years. Now it's our problem. Exactly. Exactly, Jim. It's we're paying the price, but I mean that's always the way it's going to be. That's exactly how it's always going to play out. So I should set all my unboxing videos and beauty.
I don't know,
kids.
Kristen. Unboxing videos, definitely, if there is a toy or characters or anything appealing to kids. Beauty tutorials, like you've seen, the teen audience also counts into that, because kids could be secondary audience. You have to make that decision yourself. I doubt that all beauty channel tutorials are going to be marked for kids. It has to. For example, if there is a I know there's a Frozen eyeshadow palette. Well, if you're reviewing that, most likely you have to mark it for kids.
Yeah, but I mean, there's lots of those palettes. As I don't see, I'm learning the lingo. I see watching and stuff like that. They have a ton of bright colors and everything else into it, glitter, all that stuff.
Yeah.
To me, that would fall right into teen category if there ever was one, unfortunately.
I know.
Not that adult women don't use it. I'm not judging. I'm just saying, as far as you go by what they're talking about there, that would also fall into it.
The biggest problem, as I see, I agree. The biggest problem, as I see this, is that after all this confusion, I don't think it really protects kids. Of course, first of all, it doesn't really protect kids, and second of all, around 75% of parents actually didn't mind kids being exposed to content or being collected their information. So who exactly is against all of this? This all started because of a couple of, activist groups basically said, let's implement this. The rule is old, but let's start penalize everybody.
But the FTC, I mean, all that was born out of the same thing. And Jim brought up a really good point at the beginning when thinking back to the thing, he said, don't have a cow man. I mean, that's what all these here ratings for music and stuff was all set by a very small majority of interest groups doing it. It was not the voice of the majority by any sense of the word that put all these in. It's been the same way ever since. I mean, you go back to the 80s, and yes, in the 80s, a lot of us remember quite well, when they were still burning cassettes and stuff like that, when they accused Ozzy Osbourne of playing music backwards, you're the devil. It's been going on for a long time, and it's finally just hitting the internet. Yes, if YouTube hadn't been collecting data, and they were wrong for doing it. They were wrong for doing that. For collecting data from kids. They should have known better. At the size they were, there was no excuse for them to let happen what happened. They knew damn well, but there was so much, it was so lucrative, they had to jump into it. Call it for what it was, and now today we're in where we are because of it. But this could have been dealt with so long ago in the right way, and none of us would have been paying the price for what happened.
Outdoors for Adventures, you can definitely wait for that, but as we said and keep repeating, it's your responsibility and not YouTube's. Even if YouTube does or does not mark your videos, it's still you who will be responsible if they're marked correctly. So don't rely on YouTube. YouTube itself says that. COPPA says that creator is responsible. So,
Yep.
take responsibility in your hands or know the consequences, as we always say here.
And some will be fine. Like I see some talking, like Thames, for the most part, yes. There's a lot of channels in the middle ground that should be okay for the most part. It's where you got to watch is that fringe video you did as a joke or something like that could be construed as that. That's where you seriously got to think and go through them and see then if there any that could tip the switch. Because remember, the fines are individual videos, not towards just the channel itself. It's going to have to make me be more careful with what I review in regards to beauty, as YouTube does this. Beauty industry is marketing is so much more kids related looking or affiliated product. Yes, yeah, exactly. We're going to have to be diligent like we never thought. We're going to have to show the same diligency that a large corporation does when they go to advertise.
Yeah.
That's what's so weird about this. Like, I worked for a big music company and some big names, and that's a drop in the bucket compared to anything like when you get into cosmetics and Sony and high-end, all those kind of products. Completely different. But nonetheless, I mean, anytime somebody said, "Oh, can we show a product, at our fair or whatever they're doing," we had to scrutinize because you have to be so careful that you don't put it anywhere where it could disrespect our product or be used in a disrespectful manner against anybody else and all these things. But now we're going to have to do that as just simple YouTubers. We're going to have to bear that same kind of responsibility and sensibility that large corporations have when they market. I studied multimedia integration in 2000, and part of the training was on working for designing products for kids. Back then was the integration of CD-ROMs. I was working with Macromedia Director and stuff. The books are like this, and that was back then when it wasn't as sensitive as it is now. That's almost 20 years ago. And you wouldn't think it, but like for all, like say you were doing a interactive, kids say it fell under the same thing as TV broadcasting and that. You can't just go and grab okay, there's a kid who is Spanish and a kid who is African American and a kid who is. You had color codes and grades between all of them. You had to look up and use proper color codes for each one of them within a certain grade. There is responsibility upon responsibility on every level when you're working with anything based in children's content. It is the hardest industry by far to be into. If you're a creator of it, if you in any shape or form. So this is what we're going to be getting into in YouTube. And I'm sure why I'm saying that is I'm sure they're not done with kids channels yet. I have a feeling a lot more is going to be done to kids channels to have them comply more within those guidelines. This is the first set that's going to hit everybody. And then once that's settled and you have your children's channels to the side, I have a real strong feeling they're going to come up with another set of regulations for them that's going to make it almost impossible to be on here. Unless you have a big team with you that can handle it.
Well, I'm going to throw a fish out there. There was a thought going around that this is very conveniently timed with Disney launching its channel and subscription. And I'm not the only one, so don't say that it's conspiracy theory. I'm not the only one talking about it.
I know.
Who knows? Because where are your kids going to watch the content now?
Yep.
If it's not on YouTube.
Hey there, you drone. How are you? Welcome. Good to see you in here. Great to see all you guys that joined as well, by the way. I got it free through Verizon for years.
Good. 10 million people joined it in the first day of it being opened. 10 million.
My son joined it. He's going to be 22 years old. I was shocked when he told me. He's like, "Dad, did you get Disney yet?" No. And he's like, "Oh, it's great. They got every Simpsons episode ever and stuff like that." So it shows you the reach. And
the cutoff ratio of Simpsons, because they can't put it to 9:16.
Yeah, or they can't show the full episode. So like Family Guy, they cut out every segue and speed it up by a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
It's
No, it is a conspiracy, but nevertheless.
And it is one of the places that could have enough pull to get something like this done for them. It's one of the few places in the world that could do it. I wasn't sure if you're going to go down that rabbit hole, but yeah, I don't want to go too far into it, but anything can happen. Disney has new Star Wars show. That's why it looks good.
Oh, it looks great, right? And if there is nothing to watch for kids on YouTube, then exactly, where are you going to go? What are you going to sign up for? Are there many options there? Not really. If you don't have cable TV online, there is not much there. Because once again, all streaming services included, like Netflix, will have to comply with this as well.
Guys, I just want to put it out there. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. It really, really does help out a lot. Very much so. This is a very little incentive to produce videos for children on YouTube, as the opportunity for monetization is massively reduced.
There's no incentive whatsoever.
There's zero. It's the opposite. It's discouraging in every shape and form to do it. See, also too, let's call it for what it is. YouTube would, at this point, be happy if they got rid of all kid stuff. Mm-hmm. It just washes their problems away. Which shows you what kind of a mess they dug themselves into, because they should have had set it up years ago. And YouTube Kids should be the most lucrative thing on YouTube. It should be way more lucrative than YouTube itself, because it'd be all geared towards there with heavy advertising. We should be on here tonight complaining and saying, I wish I could get rates like they're getting on YouTube Kids. It's not fair. All the money's going there. If YouTube had played their cards right, that's what would be happening tonight instead of what's happening now. Hey there, Beyond Trees. How are you? Great to see you. I have 3 vids with my grandkids on them. Should I delete them from the channel? We're not giving anybody a direct answer on anything, but do think about it. If they're in there most likely and predominantly in the video, you definitely want to consider doing it.
Not deleting though. You don't have to delete.
Oh no! Oh, sorry. You wrote delete. I meant no. Don't delete. Setting them as geared towards children.
No, you don't have to delete your channel or your content. If anybody tells you that your channel will be deleted or you have to delete it, don't do that. Don't jump into action just yet, first of all. And second of all, nothing is going to happen unless... It's not like you have to quit right away and stop doing what you're doing. There are options out there. It is a bit harder than we think at first, but we can get through it. If you're a completely devoted family kids channel, most likely YouTube is not the place for you, unfortunately. But other than that, we'll get through it, and we'll try to make it happen.
The Rights Way, how are you? Great to see you. Papa Rome's, it's extremely gray areas, but the guidelines seem to be more trying to prevent violence, not hunting or fishing. Even hunting will be okay from what I'm seeing, but I don't know. More digging. Yeah, it's hard. It depends. I believe that's what it was originally set up for in that, but yeah, it really eats a lot though into the community. It really does. The Still Winter and too bad they couldn't just tell your channel that your video is marked incorrectly and they have fixed how we mark them. Yes.
They don't know themselves.
That's the problem.
Why they can't do it.
It should be like that. It would be the best way for it, you know? And that was for the conversation last night. I know it rubs people the wrong way sometimes, like what I was talking about last night, about opting to buy in and become like kind of a freelancer for YouTube. That was all I meant by it, is by doing that, then they'd be under more rights to clarify a lot of the laws and get them straightened out for us. Unfortunately, this time is not even just by them, it's the FTC that's graded out. YouTube doesn't know what to do with it because the FTC doesn't know what to do with it, and it all trickles down to in our laps as an absolute disaster, and we have to try and guess on something, and we're not lawyers and we're not senior producers on the Discovery Channel, and basically at this point though we are taking on the role of them. Okay, different areas is it sorry, I missed it. Okay, different areas, it is what it is. We will see, but the problem is the consequences. This is the big difference, guys, with all of it compared to before. Food Galore Mexico, nice to see you. I hope you're doing fantastic. Everything else that's happened here since we've been on YouTube has been some that say, I'm going to be okay. I'm not going to deal with this. I'm going to deal with this. Some say, I don't care. Let me see what happens. And it sucked. And they were terrified because they might lose their channel, get demonetized, get suspended for 90 days. And they were terrified then. This one here, we're talking you could get hit with $42,500 fine per video. I mean, this is not anything like we've had before. That's the big difference between this and everything else. Everything else is on this side. This is way over here and up 500 feet from it. It's a whole different ball game this time. huge monetary fines involved for not following the policy. Talk about having skin in the game. There's all of it and then some. Way more than most of us have made out of YouTube since we started on here.
Are all lives for kids? No. Live streams fall under the same guidelines as videos. And once again, it's all content. Thumbnails, titles, descriptions, video, footage, anything. It's not just video content. Anything and everything.
What we're doing tonight, there is kids that are into YouTube. And we do get some, 13 to 17. Who knows who snuck in here under their parents' account or has a fake account. There is some kids that might be interested in what we do. But this is not geared towards kids in any shape or form. So we're definitely not going to market as 18 and over because we're not running it's not a strip joint, and we're also not going to market as geared towards kids because it's not Mickey Mouse hosting this.
And it's also not a secondary audience. So,
Yes.
If it is kind of like in a third place, then you market in the middle.
Now, if we were talking tonight and our daughter was sitting here for most of the time, I would mark it as made for kids at that point because our daughter was there the majority of the time, because the argument could be made because she was there for the majority and interacting some and that kids would be joined more. I would want to play it more on the conservative side, even though we're doing topics that have nothing to do with children. She was there most of the time. Xenia would be a little bit more on the little side onto it and say, well, depending on it. I'm assuming that would be your answer for it.
Yeah. Sam's word that actually it's against guidelines to change the code and include the hidden messages. Just saying. You can try, but if they catch you, that's not going to be good. Did you see our thumbnail video? They detect everything. Even the stuff that is not there anymore.
Yep.
What about banners with children on them? Good question. It says all content. I'm just quoting YouTube right now. Under YouTube, it says all content. And content is everything. Anything and everything. Even community post is content. 3B video. Hello. How are you? How are you dealing with this? We're talking about COPPA and went into a little bit more detailed description about what exactly COPPA thinks about YouTube or in general internet content made for kids, what falls under it and what doesn't. We still don't know for sure, although we read the exact quote from the COPPA guideline book that they are going to be using to determine if your content is within the guidelines or not. So I guess it is up to them, and January where we're going to see the biggest changes, and then we'll know what to do.
I can't find the original. I have it, but it's on my other hard drive. I thought I had my desktop. The video we did last night, I want to pay to be on YouTube. I did a test onto it because the guy has his hands in his face. I wanted to make sure that YouTube wouldn't go and blackball us because they didn't like that shot. Surprisingly, they didn't, by the way. I got to say, I was kind of surprised a bit.
Yeah.
But how sensitive is that thumbnail? Like, how sensitive is the algorithm reading what's in your thumbnail? It read all my text that was here. I want to pay to be on YouTube. It read all the fine text about, Canadian-based, European-inspired under Pusa Studios, which they always do. And then it said Warner. And I'm like, Warner? What the hell is Warner? Well, it shows you the rectangle box where it found it. You know what it was? It's on the collar of his shirt, and it must have been Winners.
Oh my God.
That's how sensitive the algorithm is in picking up this tiny, those tiny, tiny little lapels on the side of them?
Mm-hmm.
Right down there, you can, if you look by where his hands are for the I want to pay to be on YouTube, go to his right hand in that shadowed area, and that's where it was able to read that.
Wow.
And that shows you just what the algorithm can pick up. So it's pretty hard to pull one past it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, I know what you meant, Sam's World. I'm just telling you so you know. Once again, it's your guys' choice how you do this stuff. It's just to know the consequences. Creator Spotlight Show says nice thumbnail.
Thank you so much. How are you doing, by the way, tonight? Hope all is well, my friend.
Food Galore in Mexico, snack food, cereal, any type of food that would be more geared, once again, towards kids. They specifically say snack food or cereal in the guidelines.
I'm going to let you talk for a second. I just grabbed
oh, yes, Sam's World. Well, I mean, it's good. It's good. Yes, right. Okay, sounds good. Udrone 314, Outdoors for Adventure. Hello, how are you guys? If you haven't shared it out, please do. It is very important. We dug a little bit deeper into the subject matter of what content is falling under what audience is and not, with examples, not clear enough, obviously, not still. Although there's more information, it's still not completely black and white about what kind of content is included into the guidelines. It is basically a two-layer system. It is YouTube with their guidelines that's stamped from COPPA, and then it's COPPA and FTC that is going to apply internet-wide. So once again, don't jump platforms just because of this. It is going to apply to all social media and streaming services all across internet. It will depend how each of those platforms are going to be dealing with it, because there are clauses that can be dealt with and used as tools to deal with it in a different way than YouTube did. But we don't know about it. None of the other social media channels have actually came out with it and said anything. How are they going to deal with it? We know that TikTok is next on the dateline for FTC, so we'll see how that is going to go. It's just before, I think it's in December, so it's just before January. So we'll see what they reply to this.
FDL Seeker, there you go. I was just going to answer that for you. Here you go. So I found the thumbnail because I really wanted you guys to see this. So this is, oh, really? Sorry, drug it in the wrong place. So here's where you drag it into. I'm going to drag in my thumbnail, and it's going to evaluate it for us. Hopefully. That's a lot of spinning.
Yeah, we did talk about that as well in the thumbnail tips and secrets.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So if you haven't checked that YouTube, we did. It will blow your mind off.
It will blow your mind off, folks.
Yeah, links is in the chat if you haven't seen that video.
So I'm going to go over to labels. So now it's going to say the font 84%, hand. This is the things that it's picking out of here. I picked out album cover, which I thought was interesting. Flesh, and it gives a rating of how much percent certain it is what it is. Then we're going to go over to the web, and this is web entities. It's got human behavior, album cover, human, blah, 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 blah. Here's the one that shows you how sensitive this is. Okay, so it sees, right? Block 1, I want to pay to be on YouTube, Pusa Studios. It got all that in block 1. Block 3, Canada-based, European-inspired photography and videography. That's right here. You can see the blocks marked off as you click on them. Now, if you look at his hand, all the way down on the right side into that shadow, there's a little bit of green here. A tiny, tiny bit of green. And from there, they got the word Warner.
I can't see it still. Even when you show me, I still can't see it. When it doesn't have that green square around it, it's crazy.
If it wrote that but didn't put anything else, I wouldn't even have the beginning to try and guess where it's getting the word from. Now this should show you how sensitive the AI is with your thumbnails. When we preach about how important they are, that's how important they are. We had the same thing with our one from, exactly, you can't see it above and beyond drones. You cannot see it, but the algorithm sees it. So say you had something like trick words in there or hate words or any kind of messages, it's set up that sensitively to pick them up. And that happened with our thumbnail for Tech Talk Tuesday in the background. I forget what the word was, but it's unfaded out. It's our screen, and it's only about 10% it was brought down to, and it made out the word that was into it. So it is that sensitive. Let me see if I got our Tech Talk Tuesday. We can take a look at one more.
It also detected the not existent beer bottle in the interview with
the huntsman.
The huntsman that was edited out.
I had a shot of him. We only used screenshots at the time, and I had a beer bottle on the beach, so I airbrushed it all out, put back in rocks and that, and it still picked it up. It still was able to pick it up. In the end, that's how sensitive it is. Hang on, guys. I'm just getting up because I think it was the Tech Talk Tuesday one we did it with. I think it would make sense because it can see the background. We're going to try it and see. Okay, so we're going to try a new file. Let me see. see, I don't really feel comfortable doing that, so we're just gonna hit refresh.
It's a Google Cloud Vision, and I did post a link to our video that we explained also how many is free. You can also upload your videos as well, and what are the other options of using it.
There, guys. So I'm just bringing it back for a second. I will get that up and then bring it back up because I just don't want to show everything that's. There we go.
Kicking with Shane, hello, and welcome back here. I think I forget now directly, but I think it was up to 1,000 uploads. I forget now, but we talked about that directly into our chat about thumbnails. So check it out.
What the hell is that? It's so badly marked on here, and I always forget half the time. Oh, there it is. Yeah, they have it right in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to share again. So full view. Let's grab our Tech Talk Tuesday thumbnail. Let's put it in here. It's detecting it. This time I'll remember in advance to hit the I'm not a robot. There we go. And there we go, guys. So it's adjusted. So it's seeing sunglasses, actually prescription sunglasses, but they're transition ones. So there you go. Person, so they're 93% sure sunglasses are 83% sure about persons and 77% about the other person. So you can see even as you go over it, which boxes it's talking about. I go under less because I'm more darked out into the shadows. That's exactly why. Then they go to labels. And once again, see what all they see into here. Facial hair, photo caption, photography, beard, album cover text, font. Logos, it sees a YouTube logo in there. Spot on, spot on. Jim and Jesse, a conversation were definitely connected a lot with the music industry. No, okay, so it wasn't this one. I forget which one it was, but it was like this.
It was the interview ones, I think. I forget now.
Yeah, yes, it was an interview one.
You
right?
can go to our link in the chat and check it out. We'd actually show it because that's when we realized it together on the live stream, how much they actually see it. As Sam's World says, they're very sensitive.
It's unbelievable. It's really impressive and almost a tiny bit scary because there's no room left for error because there's so many ways you can mess up on your thumbnails that could get your channels off to a bad start without even realizing it, without not a clue in the world. It's a little disheartening, you know. I guess you could say. I think that's a fair statement.
Don't forget about your hashtag BlueRangeGroup selfies as well. Hashtag BlueRangeGroup on Twitter. If you haven't done yours, we always love seeing your faces. Love seeing you.
There, I got it. I am contrary. I found it. There you go. So let's go and look, guys. See all the text here? See all the text? All the text. Let's go down. So you got block 6. It was Saturday night party. Here we go, block 9. Now, as you can see in here, there's no Saturday night party, right? And we did this live. We were bewildered. Everybody was watching us as we were trying to figure out exactly what they was talking about. Well, if you look down under the Huntsman, under that angled 2 words, those little blocks there, that's because we have a screenshot that we use for a background of a live stream we were getting set up to do. And it was called Saturday Night Party. That was on the screen. Now that's faded to, I believe we went to 10%. It's mostly all black with the layover about 10%. And it was still able when it was said and done to pick that out. And that's how sensitive this whole thing is. All that stuff picked in there, stuff that you don't even think about. So if you put something in the back that was just a background, but it had hate speech into it or something really bad into it, that's enough to hurt you right there. It really is. So be careful what you put in. Be careful what you put in. That's all I can say. Every bit matters. And if you don't think it's being watched and you don't think it's being checked, here's a great example that it is. Because as you can see, there's lots more found than what you would obviously look at, or the viewer. The algorithm is looking that much deeper into what you do. This is such an amazing tool. And the reason why this is high on spoof, by the way, because we've already used the thumbnail. So what that means is if somebody's copying you or copying your thumbnail, or you choose to copy somebody's thumbnail, the algorithm's already on its way to seeing that you're doing so. So it goes from, as they show here, you know, from likeness values are unknown, very unlikely, all the way up to likely. So likely is on the very high category. So, and racy, why is this racy? Just based on the elements, because of the look on his face, because of his clothing, his stance is enough to do that right there to make the algorithm pay caution to it. As you can see, there's nothing else into it that would trigger it. But the algorithm is seeing it in that way. And these are the categories that the algorithm tends to shadow your videos, or could remove them, or all the other things that happen. This is what it starts off by rating them in this fashion. If they fall high in any of these categories or multiples of these categories. So that's a very, that's still to this day just blows up. You all have always been so resourceful. You know what, the more you know about it, at least you feel like you got a bit of control over what you do in here. It doesn't protect you from everything, but the more knowledge you have about what's going on to it, at least you have a chance, you know, sometimes. So how do you get an API tester? Link is in the chat. Xenia's putting it in right now. And there you go. It's a bit wonky to use, I find, just because you got to be so careful when you first click on the link. You just got to go down very slowly, and I miss it all the time. I mean, because I don't go there every single minute of the day. But just it's weird because you just scroll down a little bit. So when you go to the landing page, you're going to see this, and you just scroll down a little bit, and it's here. But there's so much stuff in here because of those famous linear web pages. So you don't want to go scroll down too far, just a little bit, and it's going to be try the API, and you drag your images over top of it right there. So
there you go. So you can check it out. I have dropped the links both for the Google Cloud Vision image recognition API that you can check out, as well as our live stream show where we exclusively talked about that and tried different thumbnails. Also other people's creators' thumbnails that they have been sending us as well. It was quite eye-opening. Check it out. It also tells you how to do it and how much is free and what you can do with your videos as well.
Jim, it's always a pleasure to have you in, buddy. Always a pleasure to have you in. You take care of yourself and be well.
And thank you so much for posting the resource links in our Discord as well, guys. If you are looking for the resource links, they're going to be here, as well as they are on our Discord for check it out category. Check it out there. You can always drop your questions in the questions category on Discord too, and we can try and answer them.
Cache Canada.
Yeah.
How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm sorry, I cut you off on that one.
It's okay.
I do apologize. Are you mad at me?
No.
No.
I'm just hungry.
Just hungry. All right then, guys. So I think that is our cue to end it, folks. So thank you so very much, guys, for everything. It's been absolutely amazing chatting with you guys. Guys, take care of yourself. We know it's scary in the end, guys, and really, honestly, it is. I don't believe in overstating or understating on this one. It is. You really got to be diligent. You really can't take it lightly. You really can't. Pay attention to what you're doing on this platform now, especially what you've done in the past. Reevaluate your videos. You got to take the time for it. It is really that important, okay? It's up to you to take responsibility in this one. YouTube has washed their hands of it completely. It squarely falls in your hands. And this time there is monetary value involved, guys. There are large fines, so you do not want to treat it lightly. I agree above and beyond drones, and I agree on all that stuff, guys. This is so everything we don't like about it, but now it is what it is. It's the reality of it, and maybe it'll get changed. Sign that petition, get behind it, do all that stuff, but at the same time too, start preparing for it and get your old videos up to date. Do not wait for YouTube to do it. It is your job. It is your responsibility. So please do. It always hurts when we come in and then we get channels after things like this happen and come in with horror stories. I do not want any of you to be part of that. and it's just something that's got to be done, guys. So really take it serious. Don't let it fall by the wayside. Make it a priority one, and let's just hope for better days ahead on this platform. What else can we say when it's all done? You know, you sign the petition. That is awesome, guys. It does help. There's a lot of names. You know, things have been reversed before. It's never too late. So definitely get on that. Thank you so much for tonight. A ton of love to you from both of us. Always a pleasure hanging out with you guys. And we'll talk to you really, really soon, guys. Actually, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. What do you want to talk about? Yeah, I know. Okay. But, okay. She talks about octopus and then look what she does to me. Hit the like button, by the way, guys. It helps out immensely, especially when we get limited monetization for this stuff. So please hit it. If you can still tweet it out, that would be awesome.
And come back to leave a comment.
Yes, guys. YouTube might try to slow us down, but you guys can help us keep trucking along. So take care, folks. We'll see you soon. Be well.